The Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermani. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And welcome to The Bottom Line, live right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Ermani today, standing next to another legend, Braylon Edwards in the building. How you feeling today, Braylon?
I'm good, man. I got my Detroit Pistons gear on. This is All-Star Weekend, so I'm trying to represent. You know, we got some guys in the Rising Stars Challenge.
That's right.
Also, we got my man Rob Beard on today, so I figured I'd wear a little Pistons gear for him.
Yeah, Rob Beard's going to be on today, Anthony Lynn, plus we got a bunch of other great topics to discuss, and that jacket's absolute fire. I think everybody in this office complimented you today.
They did, and I appreciate that. Shout out to my guy John Yu over at Pro Sports Zone over there in Lower Park Manor. I'm telling you, man, they have a ton of things over there, ton of items. This is just another one of those functional pieces, man. It's not about the quantity of how many things you buy or purchase. It's about the quality.
That's right, and that thing is quality. And speaking of quality and quantity, Maz is here, and it's his birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thanks, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here for another day in the life.
Maz, tell me, what does it feel to be the Big 6-0? How do you feel today, man?
Honestly, I feel like I've felt the past 20 years. It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm blessed. I got so much love this morning from my girls at home. They took me to breakfast. Then I come here to my Woodward family. You brought a cake in. We all sang happy birthday to me. I got cards. I'm getting text. I can't even keep up with all the love. So
I got a card for you. I can't find
keep
it.
Keep it coming. Keep that love coming.
No, I did buy a card. It's a funny card. Don't worry. I'm going to find it before the day is over.
It's great. I'm looking forward to a great show.
Well, we have Sam in the sound booth, and we have Alex making sure we look good in producer land. Well, let's play a little video of Maz getting happy birthday sang to him earlier today.
Let's do this.
This is what it looks like with the Woodward family.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maz. Happy birthday to you. D-Mac makes an appearance at the end.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah, man. One big family.
Family. I'm here with my family. Shout out to Brian Kelly down there at LSU.
Hey, early birthday wish to my man Braylon up there, Monday. So we wrap around President's Weekend. I start it, and Braylon finishes it.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's only fitting that my birthday is on President's Day, man. It seems as though I can still name them all.
El Presidente.
You can test me on that on Monday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can test me on Monday.
You can name all the presidents?
Yeah, it's not hard.
Who is president number 8?
It's not. You said 8?
The only reason I know this is from Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. Andrew John. No. Hold on. Martin Van Buren?
Yes!
Yeah, Martin Van Buren.
Man.
The Van Buren boys.
I used to
right,
have to
Alex?
cheat my ass off in high school to get that. I used to keep that ruler with all 50 presidents up your sleeve, and you'd pull it out while you were taking the test.
You're like a parlor trick, man. That's awesome.
Hey, man, you got to take me to the parties, man. I'll be the party trick.
Right. Hey, you got to do
trick.
a drink. Name any president. Braylon will name them.
All right, I got one for you.
Hey, on Monday, because it's President's Day. It's more fitting on Monday.
Okay,
what were you about to ask?
I was going to ask you who was the vice president for Dwight Eisenhower?
For Dwight Eisenhower?
For Ike.
Oh, yeah, that's on Monday. You get that on Monday.
Okay, that's fine. It was Richard Nixon.
It's Richard, yeah.
Richard
Tricky Dick.
It's Millhouse. Call him Millhouse.
That's it.
It's a great name. Well, let's talk about some NCAA football. The playoffs are staying at 4 teams.
Good. Such bull.
Good. You don't like it?
No.
Good. I'm excited.
See, I'm with Braylon on this one. College football playoffs will remain at 4 full teams through the end of its current 12-year contract, which expires in 2025. College football playoff executive director told CFB Heather on Friday. So that ain't going anywhere. Braylon, I'm with you on this, but why do you like it at 4 teams?
I've always said this is you're going to ask for something. When it was the BCS, you wanted something else. Before the BCS, you wanted something else. Now there's the playoffs, you want something else. This was an interesting year. Because this is the only year of the playoffs where I said there could have been a couple extra teams. Because there were some good teams that had 2 losses. This was the exception to the rule. And I didn't want the exception to the rule to win. Because next year, there won't be an exception to the rule. And everybody will be looking like, well, why did this team get in? Why did this team get in? I looked at the Big 12. The Big 12 new conference sucks. It sucks.
They got Cincy.
And what's going to happen?
Ooh.
Congratulations. And what's going to happen with that new conference is you're going to have an undefeated team every year from that conference that gets swacked in the playoffs. I know everybody has jokes. We got our butt whooped this year, but that's what's going to happen. I like it at 4 because you really are only going to have 4 real contenders year after year after year where you're looking at it and you're like, it could be this team, it could be that team, it could be this team, or it could be that team. When you add 8, and now you add 12, because once you go to 6, it goes to 8, it goes to 12, and sooner or later, it'll look like the NCAA tournament for basketball, and you're going to start having teams that we just talked about it any given Sunday, right?
Right.
You'll have one of these three lost teams that sneaks in there, and they just happen to have a couple good Saturdays in a row and get to the national championship.
Go Richmond.
I don't want
Go Spiders.
that. I literally want the best teams in college football. And hell, if it has to be Alabama and Georgia, well, so be it, but I want the best, and I think 4 provides you that best number. Anything after that, it starts to get a little clumsy.
All right, Maz, why do you want more?
I want more because
He wants more football.
I want more football. I want March Madness, except in December
So
and January.
what's your number that they need to expand to?
I think 16.
16?
Yeah, but I'll settle on 8.
16.
I'll settle on 8. Yeah, 16. You started early. You get rid of the
16.
non-conference games that you don't need to play.
You're not
the
ever gonna get
nonsense
rid of the
games.
non-conference.
You
Too
don't
much
need
money.
those. I love it, and I think everyone's involved. I don't care if a freaking MAC team makes it. Just if they earn it, they getting in.
Now, I think you got to rip the Band-Aid off. Like, I'm with you, Braylon, in that concept. Like, listen, everybody was mad because the number 3 team was getting stiffed in that playoff situation that writers were picking. So then we went to 4. Now everybody's mad that number 5's getting stiffed. If you move it to 16, 17's going to be mad that they didn't get in. And you're just kind of kicking the same can down the road. If you're going to do this, go to Division II, watch how they do it, watch how they execute it, and just rip that Band-Aid off and go all in like a 64-team tournament.
I'll do
and
that.
do it right.
I'll do it.
If you're going to go that route.
Wayne State, they'd be happy, right?
Ferris State would be happy. Grand Valley.
Come on. I love that. I like the little guy to have a chance to win. And if they do win, so be it.
16 teams, man. That means that this year Utah at 10-4 was a 12 seed. Mississippi, Ole Miss, that is, 10-3 was 11 seed. Pitt was a 13 seed at 11-3. Clemson, who we saw at a snap, was terrible.
Okay.
They will be a 14 seed at 10-3. Wake Forest would get in as a 15 seed at 11-3.
ACC.
And Louisiana would get in at 13-1. That is preposterous.
Yeah.
That's awful, Maz.
Yeah,
I know it's your birthday, so I promise I won't yell at you today.
Hey, I dig football, man. And I know, and I bet you these kids would love to play it. I bet you they would. And I bet you they'd stay longer. And the transfer portal becomes even more important. And you know what? You could go to a smaller team and know you could still make the playoff.
Yeah, and get your head thumped by Alabama.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What do you think about them going to like the 4 regions that they've been talking about for a long time?
I've been saying north, south, east, and west forever.
Exactly, and then you bring 4 teams out of each one of those, and then let those guys compete. That's a little more, I think, a better way to go about it. But still, even then, someone's going to get mad because the southeast region is going to have pretty much the SEC, and they're only going to get 4, and then you got the Mountain West putting people in.
To be honest, the BCS was perfect the way it was. Like, yes, you look at the BCS and you look at the year, I guess an example would be USC my junior year, who won. LSU went undefeated. They won that year. That was Nick Saban's first national title. It was 2003. And then USC snuck in and got a co-share because they beat us in the Rose Bowl and they had 1 loss. So they got a co-share. But I still don't mind that. You look at Auburn the following year. USC goes undefeated. Oklahoma goes undefeated. Auburn goes undefeated. USC beats the brakes off of Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. Mm-hmm. They beat them 55-17, if my memory serves me correctly. But they got to share Auburn to get the love, but they still got to share the national championship. The BCS was fine the way it was. It's all about one thing, Stick, and that comes down to money, 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 money.
Money's everywhere now. Even the kids are getting paid.
About time.
Let's go. Let's go.
NIL has changed the game, and the transfer portal has really changed the game. You got to re-recruit these kids every year, which is nuts.
And that's a tough thing. Ryan sat in that same seat, and he talked about that kind of all year. Well, not all year. When we were talking about Harbaugh potentially staying or going, that's one thing that Ryan kept saying. He was like, Harbaugh doesn't feel like re-recruiting these guys year after year after year. Because if you got a guy that comes in, he doesn't play, now you got to go talk to him. And it's not even about the kids so much. You know who it's about.
It's their parents.
You went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. You know how those parents are.
It's all parents.
I was at an 8th grade basketball game the other day. I'm not even going to say where. And I'm just looking around. I'm like, I hope I wasn't like that back, when my kids were there.
Right.
I don't
It's
have
awful.
kids, but I know once I do, I'm going to need to be that dad that sits in the center field in the car watching the game, or I'm going to be the
With
dad
the transistor radio
Yeah,
on.
because I will be that dad yelling what is going on? And when I played Little League and stuff, I hated those dads.
That's the one credit.
The umpires and the refs get killed.
I almost got in a fight. I
Absolutely.
umpired for from when I was 12 years old till I was about 24 years old. And I literally got in a fight when I was 16 years old with a 40-year-old grown-ass man because I threw his son out of the game.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he meets me by the umpire's shed. It's like, what is going on?
What's up? What you got to say now? What you got to say now?
Unbelievable.
He didn't want that smoke, though.
Unbelievable.
Not with Stick. Not with my boy Stick. That's one thing I have to give my dad credit for. I mean, there's a ton of things, but this in particular, as it relates to this moment,
Stan's class.
Stan was never like that.
Was he?
And
Okay.
obviously he played at the highest level. He was, all Big Ten. He was drafted in the third round to the Oilers, now the Tennessee Titans. He had every right he could be that guy. He could have been that guy, whether it was baseball, basketball, football, soccer, tennis. He never was. He always just let the coach, and sometimes to the detriment of his son, but he never said anything. He let the coaches coach. He let the referees referee. He let the umpire be the umpire. Hell, my mom was more vocal than my dad.
Oh, don't mess with Mama Bears.
No. Mom's not having
I'll tell you,
that.
the moms the other night, they brought the strong game.
Yeah.
The moms, we're talking 7th and 8th grade girls, basketball.
Yeah, it's serious business, man. Sports is serious business all the way around.
Yeah, so Braylon, with that, you talking about your dad, sometimes it was a detriment, but how much of a benefit was it to have a pro kind of coaching you to get to that level?
It was great.
Yeah.
He was tough. He was hard. He would always ask me, whatever sport it was, are you serious? Are you sure you want to do this? Do you want to play this sport? And once I said yes, it was no holds barred. We went in, whether it was track, baseball, we were always doing a ton of extra work. The kids practice is over. All the other kids are going home. They're going home to play video games if it's the summer, or they're going home to fake like they're doing homework and then play video games. Not me. I'm staying extra. I'm taking batting practice after it's over. I'm running bases. If it's track, I'm doing a couple extra wind sprint. If it's football, I'm catching with my dad. There was no jug machine.
Right.
Ain't nobody paying for no jug machine
Right.
in 1995, but I'm catching with my dad afterwards. Always extra work. But third overall, I can't complain.
No, and that's one thing. My dad passed away, God rest his
Rest in
soul.
peace,
But
yes.
I wish I would have had that type of guidance, because my dad's like, you're good at it, have fun doing it. He never pushed me to go that extra mile, because I don't think he was aware what it took to be a pro.
Yeah.
So he didn't instill that in me. And not that I blame him for me not being pro, that's not the reason. But I wish at some point I had someone being like, hey, this is the roadmap on how you get there if you want to take this serious. So it's a blessing that you had that growing up.
Definitely, and I saw it. I was able to see it both ways. You look at
Right.
it one way is I missed out on a lot of things. A lot of my peers had a lot of fun from
Right.
ages 11 through high school, through 18. A lot of parties I missed, a lot of things I missed. But guess what? I made up for it.
Yeah, they missed a lot of parties too.
They
when
missed
you're an
those
adult.
$1 million parties.
They missed the grown parties.
Yeah.
Speaking of a party, Ford Field throws a party pretty much every Sunday during the Lions season.
For the opposition.
Well, their ticket prices, that's something that is always a topic of discussion leading into the next year. We'll find out what the Lions are doing with their ticket prices coming up next right here on The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards. This is
The Bottom Line. Tune in. Happy birthday, Maz, on a Friday.
All right.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Listen, I know it's the middle of winter. You hate leaving your house. You hate going to see people. But when you do, you cannot look like you've been trapped in your house all winter long. So make sure you go to Lady Jane's and get that wicked awesome haircut so you can look your very best. Whether you've been locked in the snowstorm or not, when you come out of it, you want to be looking crispy and looking clean. Plus, you can come here, get a nice scalp massage, get a nice shoulder rub while you're getting your haircut. And, it's kind of like a mini spa day. You deserve it. You need this. Come to Lady Jane's, get your haircut. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. Wicked.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. Braylon Edwards is here. Maz, we're celebrating his birthday all day long. Alex and Sam in the sound booth. So, a lot of times, NFL owners get looked at as greedy. And I've had that thought of past Lions ownership when we've had an awful season and they come back and, hey, ticket prices are getting raised. Like, wait, why would you do that after you know the product that you delivered to this entire city? Well, this year, Sheila Ford Hamp, she's gaining even more respect in my eyes. I have a ton of respect for what she's done the past 2 years. I think she's the most competent Ford to lead this organization, at least in my lifetime. And this year, the Lions, not only are they not raising ticket prices, in some cases, they're lowering ticket prices. And this may have something to do with it. After ranking dead last in attendance last season, the Lions have decided to hold season ticket prices steady for the 2022 season. Plus, they are offering question and answers with team brass for re-upping, which makes me wonder, like, now can I call Sheila Ford Hamp and be like, listen, I paid so much for these tickets in 2014. Can I get my 2014 prices back?
I don't think that's going to work.
Let me get those prorated.
Right, exactly.
Let me get that
you
prorated.
owe me.
But you know what? You can call Brad Holmes up and say, hey, I think we should draft X, Y, and Z. That's where all us Lion armchair quarterbacks can get our jollies going.
You use your season tickets as a way just to get on the line, and the minute you get there,
Absolutely.
you're like, Malik Willis.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, this is good. This is good by her. I think what she's doing, whoever is in her ear, whoever she's taking advice from, finally somebody to give a Ford advice and a Ford actually listen. Because this is some good advice. You know, you look at what they did last year. The first 11 games, they lose them all, and then they play well towards the end of the year. So people are excited.
Right.
So now by you lowering the prices, they're like, oh, they're working with us. They want us to see. And the people that are coming to the games, the people that are excited about purchasing these lower tickets, they remember how you guys finished the last 6 games. They remember that you almost beat the Ravens. They remember that you almost beat the Vikings. And they just appreciate the energy that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have continued to have after the season was over at the Senior Bowl down in Mobile. So people are excited, and this is how you capitalize on that optimism.
Right.
This is how you capitalize on optimism. You lower the prices, you get butts in the seats, and then you get some W's in that column, and lo and behold, you start to create something.
I just think it's also a reflection of the leadership that's inside that building now. Because say what you want about Dan Campbell and his antics, self-awareness is running rampant inside Ford Field right now. Like, Dan Campbell knows who Dan Campbell is.
I like that.
Brad Holmes knows who Brad Holmes is. Sheila Ford is showing us she knows who the Lions are right now. They're being self-aware. They're not just saying, you know what, we're the Lions. We print money anyways. We don't need 65,000 in here. We're going to raise tickets.
That's been the past.
Exactly.
That's been the past.
I know.
They haven't cared whatsoever. They can go 0-16 because they know what? They know next year you're going to put that butt in the seat. You're going to pay that cash. You're going to buy, as you were just talking about, that $40 T-shirt that nobody wants to buy. You're going to pay that $50 parking. So this is a great start, and it's only February.
I'll tell you, last year we were doing our Lions pregame shows, and we had some nice crowds down at the Tin Roof and at O'Toole's in Royal Oak. But for the home games, I went to several of them. My aunt and uncle are season ticket holders. They got seats right on about the 20-yard line, Lions side of the field, lower tier, nice seats on the aisle. And I think they're like $130 a piece. They couldn't make a lot, so I'm like, all right, I'll try to sell them for you. I put them up on Ticketmaster, Resell, and StubHub. Not one game did I reach that $130 for the seats. At one game, I gave them away for $20 a seat. It was the Eagles game, as a matter of fact. $20 a seat. And a lot of times, the Bengals game did not sell.
Right.
So what happened is, if I wasn't going to sell them or they were so cheap, I would just take them myself and go to the game. So I went to a lot of games. I saw a lot of paper bags and a lot of empty seats. That's got to be really embarrassing for them last year.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of the COVID season had something to do with this, because when you could survive a full season without fans and you understand that not necessarily the attendance is going to service me financially that well, like maybe they realized, you know what, we can be a little bit better to the fans in this way because we did a whole season without them. We lost all that revenue and it didn't kill us.
This is true. No, it didn't. It did not kill them because they built up so much revenue. They built so much up in their kitty that they have their kitty. They got their kitty in the corner in terms of all the money that they made off the Lions in the past 15 years. So they were able to take a year off with COVID, and they come back last year, don't have such a successful year, and now you're like, hey, you know what? Got to capitalize. We have money. Let's stop being cheap. Let's stop being cheap. Let's realize that we have a lot saved up, and let's reward our fans. Sam, you got something to say on that?
I'm a big live sports person, and there have been so many games where I've just been like, oh my God, the tickets are so cheap, I'm going to go. So you're very likely to see me at Ford Field this year if the tickets are as cheap as, Sheila has said that they're going to be. So this is a great move. Someone like me will go to many more games the cheaper the prices are.
But then also your appreciation level will be high too, right? Right, Sam? You'll appreciate it and you'll go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not that I need them to think, oh my God, this one fan to think about me, but it's still going to be
starts with one fan, Sam.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
You're the heartbeat, Sam.
It starts
me
with one
personally,
fan.
Flannel Sam, the heartbeat.
Alex, were you going to say something?
The price of beer.
Yeah, we've said that. How about the Atlanta Falcons, what they do? You could get a hot dog and a soda for like $5. There's things, and the food at Ford Field is not great. It's not great. It's nice to walk around the place and all, but it's very, very expensive. But I will tell you this. They've improved the game day experience. It's a little bit better than it was. They have their DJ there. I forget his name.
Ray, you dig.
There you go.
DJ Ray, you dig.
He did a nice job
he's
last
the man.
year.
Shout out, Ray.
Did a nice job last year, but when you compare it to other cities, let's go to Vegas, as a matter of fact.
That's not fair.
I know
That's
it's
not
Vegas.
fair.
They
That's
got
not
bottle
fair.
service and club
I know.
drinks, man.
They just finished building their stadium.
I know.
2 years ago. So that's tough.
What did we say the other day? That Ford Field is
20.
it's antiquated already.
Yeah.
It's already almost obsolete.
Well, they
And I
kind of
don't mean
designed
that.
it to be that way. Like, they wanted it to be like an industrial
Yes.
old building in
It was
Detroit. But now that
bad.
we're 20 years removed from that industrial, it's like it
They
doesn't-
got to do something. I don't know what. First of all, they got to change the video boards. I mean, they're old school video boards. You got to have maybe a running ticker for the scores and all. They don't put the scores up needless. It's never enough to have scores
I
up.
want to know what the vision was when they came up with the stadium idea because I think they opened up in 2000, 2001.
2000.
2000,
So
the
I
year
want to
after
know
Comerica.
what was the visual? Take me into that visual experience. Take me into when they laid that thing out and they did the virtual visual experience. Say, hey, this is what we envisioned for Ford Field in 2000, because this had to be around 97 when they did that vision board. They looked at that and they agreed on that.
I'll tell
it
you,
was bad in 2000. I
to
didn't
this
like
day,
it.
that they regret not putting a retractable dome on that thing.
That thing was ugly.
You gotta have a
Ugly.
retractable dome.
I went the first year they were as 2000. I think my dad took me to the Thanksgiving game. I want to say they played the Vikings. I could be wrong, but I went to the very first Thanksgiving game. Went with my dad, and I just walked around. This is Ford Field. It's just opening. It's brand new. But at that time, I'm a senior in high school, so I have, what I'm saying, like, I can pay attention and be like, I don't like this. I don't like that. It was terrible then. I just remember walking through and was like, I mean, it's newer, but I kind of miss the Silverdome.
I love the
mind
crappy old
architecture.
Silverdome. I love the old crappy Silverdome.
Yeah, that's just because of the memories and stuff.
True.
there,
It
I
was
think.
so loud, man. This place has never gotten loud.
Well, it's 15,000 less than the Silverdome held, so that's a big part of the reason. And I don't think anybody gets nearly as drunk at Ford Field as they used to at the Silverdome.
That's because you could drink in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You can't over here. You don't even know where the hell you're parking.
Yeah, I mean, Eastern Market didn't do tailgating at all this year, so that kind of threw a monkey wrench into people tailgating.
Man, I love the Eastern Market. Like, I don't even like going. I didn't even like going to the games. I'm not a Lions fan anyway. I love going to Eastern Market. I like watching true fans, and that's where you saw the best true fans is at Eastern Market. Those people get after it.
Maybe next year that's where we should do our pregame from.
I would agree.
Buy a couple parking spots and set up shop from there.
I would agree.
Because I'm with you, man.
Under
I love
one of
the
those
ambiance.
sheds.
I love, there's people partying. And like you said, a lot of those people don't even go to the games. They just set up like a 50-inch TV in the back of their truck and watch it there.
It's the best way to do it, man. The best way to do it.
So
That's the way they do it in Ann Arbor and East Lansing, right?
Yeah. So once again, I got to give it up to Sheila Ford Hamp for doing the right thing. Obviously, this isn't a huge change the game, but once again, to me, it shows that they're self-aware that they're not going to up ticket prices this year. So Lions, another positive thing to talk about, and I'll take as many of those little nuggets as I can get.
Me too.
They add up. They start stacking
They
up.
do.
You start putting $1 in your pocket every day. At the end of the year, it's $365. $1 at a time.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. It's a
I could buy myself some All-Star T-shirts.
See, you can only get about 3 of them.
Yeah, that's all.
Well, the NBA All-Star Weekend is happening this weekend in Cleveland.
Of all
And,
places,
of course, Pistons beat writer Rob Beard is out there. And we are going to talk to him next, coming up right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Cade's there.
My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards. This is
The Bottom Line.
Everything that we've hoped for finally
He's going deep. Right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Ooh, it's that time of the year when you got to be looking out for everything, protecting your personal property. Actually, that's every time of the year.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm talking about right now. And Guardian Alarm is providing that to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And if it's a leap year, they're giving you 366 days of coverage, because that's just how good they are at Guardian Alarm. And whether you're residential or you have a business, they have a plan that will take care of you. So if you're at home late at night, you hear a bump in the backyard, you could just hop on your phone, look on your camera, and be like, oh, it's just a rabbit running around back there. I got nothing to worry about. So it's peace of mind that you're getting from Guardian Alarm. And it's real easy to get a hold of them. They got a phone number. It's right above my head right now. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Get out of here.
And it's that easy. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you, and they'll treat you extra special because we love them. They love us. Shout out to Guardian Alarm. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
And don't you come back no more, no more, no more.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line on Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody that's watching on YouTube right now, on Twitter, on Twitch, listening on The Roar, listening on our app, and we're pretty much everywhere that you are too. So follow us on TikTok and all those other great platforms, Instagram, and we'll provide you with your Detroit local sports content. And it doesn't get much more Detroit, much more local, and much more sports content than Rod Beard joining us via satellite. What's up, Rod?
In Cleveland. Hey, Rod.
You got to unmute?
Unmute yourself, Rod.
Uh-oh. Says he's not muted.
Uh-oh.
You got the bus B pressed, Alex?
Uh-oh. See, it's Cleveland.
This is a show meeting.
This has Cleveland written all over it.
This has to be Cleveland.
It has to be Cleveland. You try it again?
Yeah, well, Rob's joining us from Cleveland.
Notice where he was at, though, in Cleveland. See, that's what you do in Cleveland. You stay in your hotel room. You don't do anything. You stay in your hotel room.
I mean, you can go see the one statue they have of Mr. Cleveland, and maybe that's it.
You go to that bridge, the Guardian. That's where the Guardians were named, that bridge.
Stay out.
You got the gargoyles on there.
Stay out.
But we were going to talk to Rob not only about the Rising Star game that we have some Pistons in, but Braylon, we were talking, it's All-Star Weekend. One of my favorite events, one of your favorite events, is clearly the dunk contest. And last year, I loved it. A lot of people were sour on it. You know, I liked that they did it at halftime last year of the All-Star game.
That was clean.
I thought it was awesome. But we were going back and forth on who had the best dunk contest dunk of all times. And some of these names on this list, man, I forgot about.
So my dad went to Salt Lake City. I think that Salt Lake City was 92 or 91, one of those. I just fell in love with All-Star Weekend as a whole, and obviously the dunk contest. Like, you see the big names in it, the risers, the flyers. I've always loved the dunk, man. I couldn't wait to dunk. Wanted to be in a dunk contest. But, man, I just was thinking like a snapshot, like who's the best three winners of all time? Because dunks, there have been some crazy dunks. Sean Kemp didn't win, but the dunk that he did almost from the free throw line, we fully extends back, was ridiculous. Kenny Skywalker in the 80s, Larry Nance, his son, it imitated his dunk, Larry Nance Jr.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
awesome.
Some great moments in the dunk contest.
MJ.
But that I was getting there. You got Dominique Williams, you got Spud Webbs. People didn't even know Spud could dunk until you won the dunk contest in '87. But the best three dunkers in me in terms of winners, you got to go with Zach LaVine, you got to go with obviously Dominique, and you got to go with Vince Carter. And then who you want to say is the best, I don't even think it's close. It's just Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
It's Vince Sanity.
Like, there's Vince Carter, and then there's the rest of the conversation.
How about my boy Aaron Gordon?
Like, Aaron, really good dunker, but he didn't win one.
Well, he got cheated.
He got cheated. He should have won the second one that Zach LaVine won. But you talk about winners. We talk about the winners. Those are the winners, and I think those are the best three winners because Zach LaVine kind of revamped. And he breathed some oxygen into the dunk contest because it had just been going steadily down and down and down. And then this skinny kid out of nowhere comes out and dunks from the free throw line. He's windmilling from the free throw line. He's going through his legs underneath the rim. He was great. But Jordan, I mean, how could you get any better than Jordan in terms of the nostalgia that is Michael Jordan? But Vince Carter, oh, man, something different.
Yeah, I got to throw out another couple names in here because when I was going through that list, D. Brown. Remember D. Brown?
Oh, heck yeah. He pumped up his sneaker first.
Yeah, the pumps.
I played that the other day. It was the anniversary of that.
Yeah,
he pumped up his sneaker and then went in.
And then Jason Richardson. We got to show some love to the
Jay
Sag
Rich.
Nasty's finest, baby.
Two-time winner.
Yeah.
Two-time winner, one of the most underrated dunkers of all time, one of the most underrated winners. But I think we got Rod back.
I think I hear him.
I think I do too. So let me shut up and let me. There we go. There he is. Hey, you see I'm representing for you there, Rod. You see I'm repping. See I'm repping with the Pistons here, man.
So how's things going in Cleveland right now, Rod?
Oh, it's sunny and 75 here. You can't do any better than this.
The Cleveland Tropics.
I call BS on that one.
I think that's some
BS on that one.
So obviously it's NBA All-Star Weekend. Pistons have 3 guys in the Rising Star game. What are you thinking about those 3 guys, and what does it mean to have 3 of our really premier talent on the team being displayed this weekend?
Well, it means your rebuild is going just as you want it to. It's not quite done cooking yet, so you can't hang around the kitchen and dip your finger in the pot and try to taste it yet. It's not showing up in wins, but you see that the league is recognizing some of your young talent as being among the best in the league. So that's a step forward. You just got to keep building on that, and in another year or two, they should be where they want to be.
Hey, you know what? I was listening to Dwayne Casey earlier as I was driving in, and he said something interesting, right? He said that, we have 3 individuals. The question was posed to him, how are you? Are you excited? Same thing we kind of asked you. And he says, I'm excited, but I wish we had some guys in the All-Star contest. Like that right there kind of transitioned my thinking. I said, Dwayne Casey is still on it. He's still active. He still thinks that he can turn this thing around in Detroit. Where do you think Dwayne Casey is at as we get to All-Star break? Where do you think his mental is at moving forward past All-Star break?
Well, I think all of them just need this All-Star break time to regroup and refocus and sort of take a couple of days away because the schedule's been grueling. But Casey, this has been harder for him because when he took this job and he signed his contract, he was looking at the Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson, maybe making a run at the playoffs and doing something a little bit more. He wasn't coming into this thing for a rebuild, but he's done nicely in trying to do the development and work with the young guys and really keep a happy face about this. But it's hard on him. It's hard on all of them with the losing and trying to rebuild this in the middle of it. But he's done a good job of working with the young guys, making them better, and just making this work for him. I think it's not quite what he envisioned, but he's making the best of this situation.
Yeah, Rod, it's not been a great year, obviously, and they've obviously taken another step back. Last year, they were a pretty fun team to watch. This year, not so much. Marvin Bagley, I think he's injected a little fun into this team. How's he working out so far a week in?
Yeah, I think it's just going to take some time, and I've been joking on Twitter that we're starting to see these passes toward a big man and toward the rim in the air, and it's just a poking fun at lobs. We haven't seen a lot of lobs for guys because they haven't had that athletic big who's rolling to the rim and who can finish the way that Bagley can. And so it's only been a couple of games and we've seen just a little bit of it, but I think we're going to see a lot more as more of his teammates get used to him and that ability to throw that lob toward the rim and have him dunk. And he had a nice one the other day on Grant Williams from the Celtics.
Big win.
Huge win. But you wanted to see that probably 2 games before the end of the All-Star break, not the last one going in. But it gives them a little bit of juice to feel good. You didn't want to go into the All-Star break with a 9-game losing streak, which they were on the precipice of doing.
Right. You just mentioned the jam. You talk about the dunk. It was a huge oop. That's what gets the people going. So we got to talk about the All-Star game. We got to talk about the dunk contest. But I don't want to talk about necessarily Cole Anthony, Obi Toppin, and Jalen Green. I want you to tell me who are the best 3 winners of all time in your mind.
Best 3 winners? Jordan, Neek, and I'll say Vince Carter.
I was like, oh, he's not saying Vince.
Me and you have a very similar list. I have the same list. I have a slash, though. I have Zach LaVine and Dominique. I think the only reason why you got to do Zach LaVine kind of brought that new energy to something that was dying. Like, nobody was even watching the dunk contest anymore. And then you insert Zach LaVine, this little skinny kid. By the way, he stole some of James the Flight White dunks, but that's neither here nor there. If you know, you know. James the Flight White out of Florida. But Zach LaVine, but Dominique, man, like, his dunks were cool. but it was the authority in which he dunked with the man. It was so special. It was like him, Larry Johnson, and maybe Sean Kemp. They were just in the class of their own with that power.
Yeah, one guy.
And that's.
Oh, go ahead, Rod.
If you put Dominique in today's dunk contest, it would hit different because he was just dunking, and people didn't appreciate the power back then. And we've gone through these kind of back and forth in the eras with power and finesse and kind of gliding with Jordan. But it was that either you like Jordan's artistry or you like Dominique's just power with the way that he was doing stuff and jumping off 2 feet.
Yeah, Dwight Howard's another guy that I think is slept on in dunk contests. Because he's a big man, he always got penalized. But some of his Superman dunks and stuff like that, he was amazing to watch. But moving on, it's the midway point, pretty much the NBA season. I'm not sure if you have your report card ready, Rod, but what grade would you give the Pistons so far?
I'd say like a B minus C plus, and I hate grades because it's always people will look at grades and say, well, how can you give B's to a team that's only won 13 games in the first half of the season? Well, it's kind of based off expectation and what you thought they would do at the beginning of the year. Did you think they'd be a 12-win team? Maybe not quite that. So they're a little bit lower than that. But it's still just you like the overall what they're putting together, what you've seen from Cade and what you've seen from Sadiq Bey and bouncing back after a slow start. And some of these other pieces don't necessarily go together, but you can see where there's the beginnings of something that's going to make a difference in another year or two.
Hold on. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the dunk contest and we didn't talk about the 3-ball. The tray ball, we got to talk about the 3-ball, man. You got to give me your best three-point contest winners.
Steph.
Bird.
I mean, essentially, yeah, but Steph, Bird, and
Clay.
I'll say Craig Hodges.
Ooh, Hodges. I like that.
Why don't you go ahead and read my 3-point contest list right there, man. Tell me what you think. Craig Hodges is the best 3-point contest shooter of all time. It ain't even close. I put Craig against Steph. Don't forget, Steph lost 3. He's won 2, he's lost 3, or he's lost 2. Don't forget he's lost 2.
Yeah, right Craig here in the notes. Steph, Larry, Craig.
Craig Hodges was me. I think to this day he's the only player to make 19 consecutive, 25. They do different type of scoring now. I think the scoring is different. But back then it was 32 a round. Craig Hodges was 25 for a round. But Burrow was the coolest stuff.
The 3-point contest is the best of the whole weekend. That's the best event to me. Yeah. That's the best event of the whole weekend.
And it really just shows the evolution of the NBA, right? And how like the 3-point has become the sexy shot. It's better than the dunk because we've seen all the dunks essentially.
They should add a half-court shot to that 3-point thing.
Definitely.
They did put the 4-pointer. They put the 4-pointer in there. So I think the dunk contest can improve, but yeah, the 3-point contest is always fun because you want to see who gets on a good roll.
Let me ask you this question. This is talking about the dunk contest. You tell me if you follow this math. I just think for the dunk contest, it's gotten to a point. I think we've kind of exhausted like the ideas. I think the creativity that it's like watching a movie nowadays or listening to a song. It's very so often that a new artist, a new song catches your mind because everything is done. Movies, it's the same. With the dunk, I think we've pretty much gotten to that point where we can't do any more physically or humanly possible. Am I wrong on that, Rod?
Well, I think you can creatively figure some things out, and that's why I liked what Aaron Gordon did, because the 2 of the best dunks I've ever seen is the one where the mascot is spinning around on the hoverboard. The timing that it takes to spin, cuff that ball, and dunk it, and get all of that right. That wasn't one that he took 4 or 5 times to figure it out. He got all of that stuff right on like the first time. So I think there are elements with it that you can improve on with the timing and again, with the artistry and the flair. I don't think we've seen everything, but there's a lot of copycat stuff, and that's where the dunk contest needs to improve, is make something else. Do that one extra thing that makes it just go, hey, I've never seen that particular thing. I'm tired of jumping over people. I'm tired of jumping over cars and ball racks and all of that. Everybody should be in the dunk contest, should be able to do that. But that might be the best dunk I have ever seen. When the mascot is spinning around, he times it, goes around behind his head, cuffs it, and dunks it. That took so many different elements to get that dunk right, and I don't think that dunk gets enough sort of props for being the greatest.
I agree. I think there's only 2 dunks left that I want to see, and after that, I'm retiring from ever watching the dunk contest.
Which ones?
Between the legs twice and the 720. After I see that, I'm done watching dunk
720.
contest. Not a 360, 2 times around.
Oh, mama. Hey, Rod, before we let you go, second half coming up. What do you think it's going to happen in the second half? What teams are we looking for? Of course, we all want to see Sixers and Nets somewhere in that NBA Eastern Conference.
I think the Bulls and the Heat are going to make this thing interesting, too. And I'll watch to see how the Nets sort of gel and this Ben Simmons thing works out. And the Sixers will be fun, too. But I think the East will be really, really interesting and intriguing. There's some good storylines there. But the West, everybody's worried about the Lakers. That's whatever. Whatever happens with the Lakers, I don't care. It's not compelling stuff to me anymore. That they tried it a different way and tried to get all these minimum guys. And everybody knew the Russ and LeBron and AD thing wasn't going to work, except for Rob Pelinka, apparently. But, yeah, I think the East is going to be very intriguing to watch.
Well, that was LeBron's idea anyway. You know that. He runs the team. Come on. Rob Pelinka. Who's he?
He's the guy that has to sign at the bottom of and make the actual trade call. So there's something there.
He's Kobe's boy. Rest in peace. That's who he was. He was Kobe's best friend.
Well, I don't want to break this up, Rod. Do you got 30 seconds to hang around as we take a break and come back?
For a short segment, just a short one. 2 more questions.
Absolutely.
All right.
Sounds good.
Let's do that when we come back right here on the Woodward Sports Network. This is The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards. We'll be right back.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more. From large luxury homes to starter homes, we will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
It's Friday. It's the end of a long work week, and nothing better to do than to go to your local liquor store and get some Gypsy Vodka. It will help you through that. It was a tough week. We've all had a tough week. Actually, you can buy some Gypsy Vodka because you can take a shot for good old Maz over here. It's Maz's birthday over here on the couch. So Gypsy Vodka, Michigan's gluten-free vodka. Corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. The stuff is pure. It is amazing. And 50 times it went into making the correct formula, and now they have it. It is amazing. And you heard Rod Beard, man. He's down in Cleveland. It's All-Star Weekend. Perfect time to sit at the house, watch the dunk contest, the three-point contest, have some of that Gypsy Vodka, mix it with some of that Centron. It will be amazing. Go down to your liquor store and ask for it, Gypsy Vodka, and tell them Braylon sent you. But when you drink, make sure you do it responsibly.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. We have Braylon Edwards. Maz, the birthday boy, is here. Sam, and of course, Alex. And we were able to convince him to stay on the line. Detroit News Pistons beat writer Rod Beard. And we had a couple more questions for you. Braylon, why don't you go ahead, buddy?
Yeah, Rod. So, obviously it's a halfway point. This is the time when people start saying, if the season ended today, you already know where I'm going with that. Who would be in the finals? Who would be the MVP? For MVP, let's start there. I'm looking at Joel, I'm looking at Joker, and I'm looking at Giannis. All have phenomenal stats. I mean, I can really roll their stats down right now. Joel Embiid, 29.6, only 32 minutes it takes him to get it, 11.2, and we get it. They're all balling. Who do you think is the top of the heap right now, and 2 and 3?
Yeah, today I would say Embiid, and I agree. Jokic and maybe even Steph or Chris Paul, because the Suns have done all of this stuff under the radar. Everybody talks about everybody else in the West except for the Suns. So I'll throw Chris Paul in there as maybe the 3.5 if you let me slide that one in.
I'll let you slide it in there. Chris Paul definitely is starting to get his just due. He needs to get more of it. What he was able to do with that team in Phoenix last year, man, that was amazing. I mean, DeAndre Ayton went from being a bust to a person that you're looking like, okay, this guy actually can play. Devin Booker has been in his head, but you see him right now, he's not been in his head. Chris Paul is allowing those guys to play. And with that, you got to talk about it, the trade. What about the trade? What did that trade do to the East? What did it do for the 76ers? What did it do for the Nets if they can get on the court?
Well, it made it imperative for the Sixers to try to do something quickly, because that Harden contract is going to be ridiculous in a couple more years. It's going to be, I think it's $60+ million. in 2026-27, it's going to be an insane contract if he signs that extension and gets that max from them. But they had to give up quite a bit to get him. And so you have to be sure that Embiid-Harden marriage is going to work there, and they don't have the ancillary pieces beyond maybe a Tobias Harris to make that thing work. They depleted some of their bench to make that trade. For the Nets, I mean, they were just trying to fast forward to the playoffs anyway. None of this other stuff mattered to them. But now they get Simmons, and maybe there's something there. They get a guy who doesn't have to shoot as much, so he shoots less, Durant shoots more, everybody wins on that team. I think it's just going to work out a little bit better for the Nets in the short term.
Yeah, I like the Nets. I like the move because ultimately, just like you said, he now is on a team where he doesn't have to shoot. He can go a night without shooting because he can kick it to the counterparts that can play. Not to mention, Rod, he can play from 1 to 5 in terms of guarding because he's going to be on Giannis if they play them. He's going to be on Embiid. He can switch and play hard. I can't wait for that matchup. But that's the thing I think they get out of him. I mean, let's keep in mind, he was second in Defensive Player of the Year last year. So I think that's what they get out of him is the defensive side of things. All right. The NBA Finals. Set the scene for us. Is it the West? Is it the East? And who is it? But is it the West and it's the East? And who is it?
I think we get a Brooklyn. I hate to say Brooklyn because they're so apt to let you down, but I'll say it today. I'll say Brooklyn Phoenix ends up being the NBA Final, and Brooklyn gets a ring for Andre Drummond, for Blake Griffin, for all of these former Pistons, Bruce Brown. All these guys get their ring because the Nets figure it out.
Yeah, I had 76ers and the Suns. Only reason why is because the best ability is availability, and you're just wondering what's going to happen with the mask mandate, the vaccine, KD's injuries, etc. But I definitely agree with you, man. That Nets team when they're ready, Nets and Suns would be a good one. Man.
No one's beating the Warriors.
The problem for me with the Warriors, and you can ask Ryan, he's better than me, is Steph went from here when he was chasing the record. And now that January has come in, Steph's had some issues.
He's bored.
Steph has had some issues, but it's Steph.
It's all the elite teams are bored, and they just want to get to the postseason and be healthy where they can ratchet it up and play at a normal level. All of this regular season stuff, the seeding may matter a little bit to some of them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And so the NBA would look at, I would think they would look at shortening the season somehow. If they're going to do this mid-season tournament, then you got to shorten it up and make some of these games matter a little bit differently, and that's why they're looking at those tournaments.
I've been saying 60 games for years. 60 games max for years. And I don't care, more playoffs.
I'm still hung up on what Rod just said about winning a championship. Listen, Stafford, he went and did it. Verlander, he went and did it. But if I got to watch Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin leave Detroit to win a championship, I'm going to start freaking out because no way in hell do those guys deserve it. No way.
Hey, Chris Middleton did.
Count. I forget. A lot of guys have done it, though, yeah? Blake wouldn't so much count because he got traded here and then he got traded.
He faked a damn injury while he was here, and then all of a sudden
so did James Harden.
Yeah, well, I don't worry about James Harden. He wasn't playing in Detroit.
This is true.
Oh, God, Stafford hurt enough, but to watch those idiots win something? Come on, man.
All right, last question.
Was Blake really faking, though? Was he, though?
He looked good once he got to Brooklyn. All of a sudden he hopped out of that wheelchair real fast. Didn't dunk for us for a year and a half, and they had 2 dunks in his first game with Brooklyn.
That's why I love being like a innocent bystander when it comes to Detroit sports. Like not necessarily cheering, unless you're talking about the Tigers. It's because Blake gave everything he had and got y'all to the playoffs.
He did for that 1 year.
Blake played
for
hard
that 1 year.
2
he did.
years.
Yep.
Because one of those years was the best season he had ever had statistically, including the Clippers. Anyway, we get this guy there, man. He's in Cleveland. He's ready to have fun, enjoy his All-Star weekend. Last question.
There's something by the river
the
out there.
The mistake by the lake. I know it all too well. I know that place all too well.
Are the flats still open? Go ahead.
They've actually gotten better. You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna let that man go. I've exhausted my questions for the NBA.
Well, thank you so much, Rod Beard, for joining us today. Detroit News Pistons beat writer. Make sure you check out all of his articles and content. Great information, and as always, great insight.
Thanks,
so
Rod.
thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you, Rod, as always.
Thanks, guys. Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, brother. Pick me up a bootleg T-shirt.
Is there any other kind in Cleveland?
I do not want you to spend $45 on a T-shirt.
You gotta love Rod, man. He's a friend. He's a family friend. He's here to the show. He always comes through for us. Appreciate you, buddy.
Always.
Yeah. No, really appreciate that. Do you guys want to get into our next topic? Or you want to take a quick break and come back and tackle it?
Let's take a quick break, man. Let's get Al May back on track, man, and then we'll tackle it when we get back.
All right, we will do that. Talking about a way too early prediction when it comes to the NFL. That's what we're doing coming up next, and this will be a good conversation. We'll do that right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Hey, gang, it's mybookie.ag for all your sports wagering. I do it. I highly recommend you do it. And if you're a first-time sports gambler, hey, where the heck you been? But go to mybookie.ag right now and use the promo code Woodward, because they'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000 no matter what you put in. 20 gets you 40, 100 gets you 200, 1,000 gets you 2,000. So there you go. That's your money to do whatever you want with it. NFL's in the rearview mirror, but you can bet future bets. How about the Lions at 200-1 to get into the Super Bowl and win it? Woo! That's long shot. But how about the NBA All-Star Game? Who's going to win the dunk contest, the three-point shooting contest? How about the All-Star Game? Team LeBron or Team Kevin Durant? Thank you. I knew someone would help me out. Anyway, mybookie.ag. Use the promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And if you have a gambling problem, make sure you call the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
LeBron James. Welcome back to the Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani today.
I want to see those teams, by the way. Put those teams up, Alex. Let's see those all-star teams.
The all-star teams?
What team do you like better here? What team do you like better here?
LeBron's team right there. You got Giannis, Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, DeMar DeRozan, Luka.
I'm taking this team.
James Harden, LeBron James.
James is not playing, by the way. James Harden's not playing.
Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, and Fred Van Vliet.
I'm taking any team with Steph on it.
LaMelo!
And then you're looking at Team Durant. You got LaMelo Ball, Chris Middleton, former Piston, Devin Booker, could have been a Piston, Ja Morant, Kevin Durant. Let's see. We got Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Zach LaVine, and Trae Young.
I'm taking Team Steph.
First of all, no team that LeBron always wins. Let's start there.
Right.
Like every time I watch the draft, I'm always like, how the hell?
Who got picked last?
They let him pick him. James Harden got picked last.
That was awesome.
James Harden got picked last. Nobody wanted him. It was very funny. He's not playing anyway, but they had to pick him because he deserved to be on All-Star in terms of his numbers. Can we talk about LaMelo Ball just for 10 seconds? You talk about being wrong on somebody. Everybody had jokes about LaMelo Ball when he was that fuzzy-haired kid shooting from whatever, scored 81 points. Everybody discounted it, even including me when he was in high school. But you talk about somebody that hit a growth spurt, start to take basketball serious, and can play the game. Shout out to LaMelo Ball, and shout out to LeVar Ball. Everybody wanted to talk about him. He doesn't look like such a bad father right now, does he?
Still an ass, but yeah, not a bad
it's
father.
A lot of asshole fathers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark that, Sam. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the NFL and make some way too early predictions because it's fun to have these hypothetical conversations. But the category we want to make this decision in, way too early NFL comeback player of the year. Ooh. And there's a graphic up right now. On this graphic, you got Christian McCaffrey,
Chase Young?
Lamar Jackson, Chase Young is on there, Derrick Henry, Jameis Winston, or other. And Braylon, me and you before the show went through about like 10 to 15 names that we actually thought are a possibility to win this. And who was at the top of your list?
For me, I think you can look at a situation like J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins is a guy who played running back, Ohio State guy, played with Baltimore. He got injured early in the year. He got injured in August. So when you look at his recovery process, it's already been 7 months into his recovery process. So by the time training camp starts, let's rewind. By the time minicamp starts, and then OTA start before that, and then go back to training camp, he's legitimately going to be really healed. I tore my ACL, so I know how the process works. He will have almost a full calendar year by the time the season starts. In fact, he will have a full calendar year by the time the season starts. So 12 months is a large recovery portion to have done. So I got J.K. Dobbins. I got to go Chase Young.
Really?
I got to go Chase Young. Chase Young got hurt before the season started. Because what happens with the ACL process is you really get healthy from the ACL process after 5 months. Like, you're really healthy after 5 months. You've done the work. You've done the rehab. Now it's in 6 months. Now it's about trusting the knee. Now it's about the lateral movement. So once you get into that 7-month range, you're healthy. But now it's about the trust. Now it's about the mental process. Now 9 months. For me, once I got to that 12th month, that's when I fully trusted. I could jump. I could go up. You saw when Clay came back and he dunked, everybody got excited.
Right.
Because that meant he had been out long enough where he already had trust in himself. So the fact that those two guys have been out that long and they're coming back, I got J.K. Dobbins on offense and I got Chase Young on defense.
Okay, I like that. I wrote down a bunch of names, and really, my homer pick for this is Quintez Cephas.
Oh, yeah,
Quintez Cephas. I mean, you look at his first
Badgers.
2 games this year, 2 touchdowns. He had about like 75 yards between those 2 games. Yeah. And through 4 games, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging about 17 yards of reception. I think if you give that guy a full season, you're going to see some impact football. But outside of him, and like I said, that was my homer pick for the Lions.
It's not a bad pick, though.
I don't think so
It's
either.
not a bad pick at all.
I've had a thing for Quintez Cephas for a long time. Like, I think we stole him in that draft.
He was great at Wisconsin. I really was a fan. I was working at the network at the time, Big Ten Network, and so I had to watch a lot of his games, and I broke him down in terms of his footage. He runs great routes. He can catch. He's dependable. He catches with his hands. He does it the right way. He knows the offense. He's dialed in. That guy can play the game.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the reason he dropped in the draft were some BS sexual charges against him. Some women accused him of rape. He later went to court and was able to prove them wrong through text messages that they knew what they were going to his hotel to do. And, to me, you just hate to see a young man's life get torn down by a couple of idiots like that. But it worked out for the Lions, and we were able to get him later on. So hopefully, in the end, life works out well for him.
Hey, does Lamar Jackson count as comeback player of the year?
He could be.
I got him, and I got Derrick Henry, because I think Derrick Henry's going to run for 2,500 yards next season.
Asked that question.
I was going to say, we debated
Derrick
Cam
played
Akers,
in the playoffs, though.
Good point.
So, but to your point, Maz, he still might technically count. He came back and played 1 game.
If they would have won that game against the Bengals, I really believe that they could have run the table.
If Mike Vrabel would have done something, it's called trusting the guy.
Don't go for 2 points when you're down 7-6.
Trust Derrick Henry. Like, if you brought him back, you want him to play the game. I think he had, I want to say, 15 carries, 62 yards. He had a touchdown. You got to trust him. You brought him back. He said it was good. He said he was okay. It's kind of like the T.O. Super Bowl. Like, once Andy Reid saw that T.O. could go, man, Andy Reid was feeding T.O. the whole time. Yeah. I think Mike Vrabel should have followed Andy Reid's lead and should have fed the beast.
King.
He should have fed the beast.
Yeah, don't suit him up if you're not going to use him.
I agree.
That's the point.
It's a scare tactic. Yeah. Don't use him as a scare tactic.
Right.
Use him as a guy that's going to get you to the next round.
Yeah, that's the horse you rode to get there, so continue to ride. There's a couple other names on this list.
How about Saquon?
That's one name that Braylon brought up.
There's another one we brought up. He could he get comeback player of the year twice because he got hurt twice last year?
Right.
Has he ever been healthy?
No, that's the thing.
At Penn State, but other than that, his rookie year, he was healthy the whole year. I think he had 1,200 yards rushing. I think he had 2,000 yards from scrimmage that year. But outside of that, no, he has not.
What about Travis Etienne? The running back,
beast
for
of
Jacksonville,
man.
See, we haven't even gotten to see
we
what
don't
he
know
can
what
do
he
as
does
a pro.
yet. We don't know what he's doing.
He's got his teammate. He's got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. They're going to draft Evan Neal, so you have a left tackle that can protect. So now he can pass the ball and run the ball. Etienne will really help Trevor Lawrence, just like he did at Clemson.
Right.
He will really help open up that passing game for Trevor Lawrence. I hope he comes back strong because he was a monster in ACC. Most ACC rushing yards of all time.
And to prove that the Rams were just chock full of riches this year, 2 wide receivers for them could possibly win this.
Yep.
1, Odell Beckham, because he got hurt in the Super Bowl.
OBJ.
And 2, Robert Woods, because he was out all season.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they got Odell Beckham.
Got hurt after the 10th game of the season, so week 11.
They got Beckham before he got hurt, actually.
Did they?
Yeah. Then he went down, and Beckham had to step up.
So technically, he's right. They got him the same week.
Okay.
They got him that Monday, and Robert Woods went down that Wednesday.
Gotcha.
So Maz is right. They got him. He went down that week.
How about Ryan Fitzpatrick for his 21st return here?
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
You play that one again. Man.
Two more I got on my list. DeAndre Hopkins is another guy.
Oh, yeah.
D-Hop is a good one. D-Hop is a good one because D-Hop is a guy that likes to work hard. Man, this is nothing but another barrier in his way to get back to his greatness. And then he's heard everybody, even last year before he got hurt, he's heard everybody say Devontae Adams is not the best receiver. Cooper Kupp's not the best receiver. You think D-Hop is going to take that line down? I don't think so. That could be a really good one.
And we don't know where this guy's going to land in free agency, but DJ Chark, I think he has all the potential to be a standout wide receiver if he's that guy. He showed it a little bit 2 years ago for Jacksonville. Obviously got hurt this year, but that's another guy that maybe the Lions target too.
You said this, and definitely a guy that they might target. You talked about this. You said that the defensive player of the year, they never give it to defensive players. Because I had a sneaky one on there. Marlon Humphrey, All-Pro, first-team All-Pro from a year ago, cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens. They have 25 guys on their team that can be comeback player of the year. Let's just start there. But Marlon Humphrey's a guy that can play the game, man. So
watch out for the Ravens.
He could be a long shot.
Well, we're going to talk more about some football happening, representing Michigan. May not be in Michigan, but they're representing Michigan. We're talking USFL coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. That is Braylon Edwards. And what is this, Braylon?
It's Maz's birthday! On the bottom line.
The bottom line is I'm old.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers.
Monday, February 21st from 11 to 1 p.m. Join Woodward Sports and Big D Energy for the grand opening of the Berkeley Chili Peppers Tanning on Woodward between 11 and 12 Mile. Come hang and join the Pepper Club. Best deals on unlimited tanning.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, everybody, Planet Fitness. Thank you very much. The Planet Fitness Studios right here at Woodward Sports. That is our home station. Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership, just $10 a month. You get that black card, which gives you extra stuff. I'll tell you about that. The black card, $22.99 a month. Enjoy amenities such as unlimited tanning, hydro massage, the massage chairs, total body enhancement.
Oh, man.
And here's the best thing. Access to over 2,000 locations. Anywhere you want to see a Planet Fitness, you can walk in with your black card. And guess what?
Isn't there also unlimited guests?
That's right.
Oh,
you can bring a guest in
Sign
with
me
you.
up right
It's like
now.
a 2-for-1 with that black card. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. No matter where you are, there's going to be a Planet Fitness near you. Right now, zero down, $10 a month. It's Planet Fitness.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani, Braylon Edwards, and of course the birthday boy Maz. Thank you to everybody that's listening right now on 99.1 FM, 93.5 FM, and 94.7 HD2. It is known as The Roar, and they carry Woodward Sports content all day long. And if you miss any of the shows and you just want the audio version, you can download it where podcasts are available: Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, Amazon, pretty much anywhere Woodward Sports, you will find it. I know a lot of people that are very excited about this, and I know a lot of people that don't give a damn about this. And it is the USFL is returning, but the Michigan Panthers are officially on the clock. We have the number one overall pick, baby.
Jeff Fisher.
Look at Detroit, man. First, it's the Pistons with the number one pick last year. The Pistons maybe the number one pick again this year. The Lions were almost the number one pick this year. And now the USFL, Michigan Panthers are number one. Things are looking up.
Tuesday is the draft, Tuesday and Wednesday from Birmingham, Alabama. The thing about this whole league is they are playing in a bubble. It's an 8-team bubble. They are playing in Birmingham. I wish right here in Birmingham, Michigan, but no, it's in Birmingham, Alabama. So they'll play at the Alabama Stadium, and of course at UAB's Stadium as well. And
Trailblazers.
Guess what? The playoffs will be moved.
Playoffs?
Yeah, the playoffs are going to be a little closer to home, and I just left my memory where the heck they're going to be. I will find out where the playoffs are. Sam, find out where the USFL playoffs
Well,
are.
Maz, explain how this draft is a little bit different than your traditional NFL
It's
draft.
a 35-round draft. It starts on Tuesday because every team has to stock. You have to stock your team.
Yeah.
So the Panthers are up first. So every team follows the Panthers after that. You could show the draft order as well, Alex. I gave that to you. So the Panthers
but
pick
it's not
first.
only that.
You pick a quarterback
You have to
first.
pick a quarterback in the first round.
Everyone has to take a quarterback. And then following that, round 2, defensive end or defensive lineman. That's round 2 to 4.
That makes sense, though.
Then the offensive tackles come off the board between 5 and 7. Cornerbacks between 8 and 11. Then you start all over again with the quarterbacks. So every team has to follow suit.
See, I like that, though, because they're basically helping us. Well, they're helping the USFL structure their teams. They're trying to make sure that everybody has enough of a team to play. You don't want to literally have a team full of wide receivers and DBs. You want to have an actual structure so you can play a legit 11-on-11. There's a pretty fast snapshot coming at you, man. It's February 22nd. I want to say is the meetings. I want to say is the draft. February 22nd is the draft, and then you go March 21st. They report to training camp, and then April 16th on Fox at 7:30 is the first game of the year. I'm kind of intrigued. I always love watching other football leagues. Last year there was the AF. There was the AF, and then there was the fan control league in which my brother played in. Because there's always a ton of talent.
Yeah, Manziel was in that league too.
He was, and Gordon.
Yeah,
and they were on Berkeley's team.
I enjoyed the XFL, the second edition of the XFL.
There's so much talent that's not on NFL rosters, and it doesn't want to go to Canada for whatever reason. So it's a lot of talent. You're going to see some names that you haven't seen in a while. You're going to be like, oh man, where's this guy been? You give guys second chances, third chances, and for some guys, it's their first chance, man.
The USFL playoffs are in Canton, Ohio.
There you go.
There
See?
you go.
Road trip.
Right at their stadium, at Tom Benson Stadium. I knew it was closer to home.
It's not a bad stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'm excited. It gives NFL, it's like the Lions. The Lions are poaching players. Shoot, it's going to be interesting to see what the contracts are. Because what if you see a guy that plays well, that balls out through that April season, and now you're the Lions, you're like, hey, we might want to put him on our team for our season.
Question for you, though, Braylon, as a former NFL player, is that too hard on a player's body to play all spring and then go try to be an NFL player?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did in college. You literally play spring, you turn around, get a little bit off time, summer workouts, then you double back with training camp, you double back with the season. Now in the NFL, 17 games, playoffs, a little bit of off time. So I don't think so. I think these guys will be ready. They'll be chomping at the bit to do it. But if you're talking about playing for both teams, then that would be too much. I was both saying getting poached. So if a guy had a good year, you poach him. Now he's no longer in the USFL. He's in the NFL.
Hey, the first USFL back in the 80s, I was a huge fan. Season ticket holder for the New Jersey Generals at the time. I remember the Panthers, of course rooted for them.
I love it.
Loved Anthony Carter and Bobby Hebert. They won their first championship against the Philadelphia Stars. They played out in Denver. Remember Mile High Stadium?
No, we do not.
That was, you didn't remember that?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I know it was Mile High.
Yeah, they won at Mile High. They put about 60,000 people in that stadium, and then I was there for the last one at the Meadowlands in '85. Then Donald Trump joined the league, and they challenged the NFL to go in the fall. Of course, they lost. They did win the lawsuit, but they were awarded $2 in the lawsuit. It was a farce. The NFL obviously had a monopoly on it, and they put them out of business. It was a hell of a league. This league's not going to be like that. They're not going to try to poach NFL talent. This is young talent from college and some pros.
It's almost like G League talent.
Almost, yes. Yeah. This is going to be like that. And I hope it gets good. I hope it's entertaining. It's on Fox. It's on NBC. And it's all over the cable network. So, hey, it's something to watch.
Hey, to make our fans out there that pretty much don't know anything about the USFL, or if you don't, to kind of put it in perspective, Jim Kelly in 1982, 83, he was drafted in the first round. Jim Kelly gave the middle finger to the NFL and went and played in the USFL for 4 years, and then came back to Buffalo 4 or 5 years later after the league kind of collapsed and fell apart. But a lot of guys were turning down the NFL, and they were going to the USFL because they were throwing money at them.
It was a phenomenal league, and it could have lasted had they stayed in the spring. The NFL would have had a little company. It would have been fun.
What do you think of the uniforms so far for the Michigan Panthers?
I always loved them. Put them up.
How do you
Look at this gorgeous helmet.
It's like Florida State with a little bit of blue.
That helmet is beautiful. It's champagne. And, of course, burgundy with a little blue in there.
Florida State, the 49ers, Boston College with a dab of Tennessee Titans blue.
Isn't that nice? I love that Panther helmet.
I'm with you, Braylon. I don't know about this.
I'm struck. This is what I'm struggling with. Now, the white helmet, the white uniform with the helmet, the side profile, it's not bad. It's not bad. The red uniform that I'm looking is dead on. He has the ball pointed out. I'm looking at that's not bad until I look at the sleeves. The sleeves make it look awful. But then if I'm going to go that route, to your point, it's Florida State or 49ers. So, yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's not, you know.
Put up the old teams there, Alex. Let's put up what do they have? They have 2 divisions, the North teams and the South teams. Let's look at the logos. They bought all the rights to the old USFL logos. So there they are. There's your North.
Hey man, that bottom left looks like the USA logo in like the 80s.
It looks like the More You Know star that bounced across your screen in the 80s.
It's like Reading Rainbow. The more you know, yes. Shout out to Al May, who's working hard on these graphics, because Maz is asking for them every 20 seconds.
Hey man, it's good. Hey, there's no baseball. There's no baseball. Let's watch some football.
College baseball opening day today.
That's it. Opening day.
Opening day for college baseball.
Is Michigan going back?
I hope so.
Ooh, Michigan made it to the national championship last year and lost game. What is it? 5 games? It's a 5-game series.
I think it's a 3-game series.
Best of three.
Yeah,
Michigan lost. Yep. I think they won the.
But I love the College World Series for baseball.
Oh,
man.
it's terrific.
It's one of my favorite events.
Softball too. They do a good job. College NCAA does a real good job with softball as well as baseball. It's fun.
The road ends in Omaha.
The Michigan Panthers are going to be here before we know it. So buy your jerseys, start rooting for them. We got another football team here in Michigan. They got the #1 overall.
I want a USFL football.
What's the difference? Is there a difference?
Yeah, it'll be different. I have an XFL football. I got an NFL football.
No, he meant like the weight. They're rounder and they're
rubber.
And
I want a USFL.
So they're more like rugby balls?
More like arena balls.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there's something happened in the Super Bowl last weekend, which I thought was hilarious, but I also thought kind of weird. And we got the video of it, and we're going to talk about that coming up next. Because, Braylon, I want your input on this. So I want to know if this happened to you on the field.
Mr. Friendly.
What your reaction would be.
Mr. Friendly. I like
Mr. Friendly.
Hey, and Anthony Lynn's coming up.
Yeah, and we got Anthony Lynn coming up.
Coach.
Man.
2 teams I played on with Anthony, with A. Lynn, as we like to call him.
Coach Lynn.
Well, we'll talk to him coming up next. Plus, I got that question for Braylon, and we will do that next right here on The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards, and this is
The Bottom Line on Maz's birthday. Shout out to Maz. Happy birthday, big guy.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes? Touchdown! What a play! Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet, the Woodward Sports Network.
Man, I got to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet. Joey and I actually went down there on Monday for Valentine's Day to drop them off a gift just for being a part of Woodward Sports. And I walked into that showroom and saw this brand new Chevrolet, absolutely beautiful Corvette, and the remake that they did on the Corvette is unbelievable. My jaw dropped to the floor, and someone bought it while I was standing right there, and they drove it out of the showroom.
The greatest American car.
Oh, and the revamp that they did with it, absolutely phenomenal, and that's why Les Stanford is your Corvette king. They could get you an all-new 2023 Corvette Z06. Is a V8 engine capable of 670 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds. This car is absolutely beautiful. So if you're looking to buy something like that, or you just want to trade in your car and get something new, Les Stanford has the whole gamut for you. So make sure you head there. If you're looking for new roads, you can find new roads with the one, the only Les Stanford, and go to lesstanford.com or give them a call, 313-565-6000.
Hey, Vaughn. Hey, Vaughn. Joe, nice to meet you, brother. What up, Aaron? Hey, Eric. I'm Joe. Nice to meet you, brother. I love watching you grow up. Love watching you growing up, man.
Keep it up, man. I love everything.
I appreciate you, brother.
No BS.
Yes, sir.
love watching you.
That's what you call not trying to get killed.
Yeah.
Hey, remember I said hi to you now. Remember I spoke to you.
And that's what I want to talk about. This is the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network, and the audio you just heard, if you're listening on the radio or the podcast, was Joe Burrow just kind of introducing himself to the Rams defense. Like, hi, I'm Joe, and walking up to Von Miller.
Live
like,
during
they
the
don't
game.
know who the hell you are, Joe Burrow.
Hey.
They've been studying tape on you for weeks. They know you're Joe Burrow.
He wasn't being assumative. He was being respectful. He was being respectful. He was going to. I think what two things. One, I think what this is one, this is calming him down. I think this is a calming down mechanism by itself. I think somebody gave him this advice, and it was really good advice. Because if you go out there, it's kind of sarcastic, it's kind of fun, but it's kind of true too. Like, hey, how you doing, Mr. Miller? Hey, you doing, Vaughn? Hey, how's it going, Aaron? Hey, Eric, how you doing, etc. Because it kind of calms you down, and it takes Joe back to that place of LSU. It takes him back to Ohio State. It takes him back to Texas State when he was in high school. Ohio State Championship at Athens. Takes you back, kind of calms you down, because that moment can be huge. I don't care who you are, a second-year player. That moment is very huge. So I think for him, it was a way of calming himself down and relaxing. I think that's what it was.
Now, that's Joe Burrow's side. Now, if you're Aaron Donald and
he gave him the stink eye.
The quarterback that you want to rip the head off just comes up to you and like, hi, I'm Joe Burrow.
I'm still going to F you up.
What are you thinking?
Now I know he's a punk. I'm going to kill him. Now I know he's a nice guy, and I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, and that's what I thought it was. It was like he's trying to make nice so he didn't get murdered.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think, one, you play nice so you don't get murdered. It's the NFL. You know that's going to happen anyway, unless your name's Tom Brady. Also, I think it's that I remember my rookie year, first time I played Ray Lewis. First time I played Ray Lewis, and the first time I played against Palomalu.
Bad man.
So we playing Ray Lewis, and I tell this story all the time, man. Like, Ray's like one of the nicest people ever. He's religious. He's spiritual. When you see Ray in the warm-up, when he's wearing shorts, this is before you get the shoulder pads on, or when you see Ray after games and he's talking to my parents, he's talking to my mom, when you see him on the field, what's going on, Braylon? How you doing? Man, so glad you on the team, man. Young blood. Like, it's like all that, it's the reverend coming out, all that. And you get on the field, it's like, man, I'm going to snatch your soul. I was like, so when I first got on the field, I'm like, hey, Ray, what's going on, man? Like, yo, glad to be out here with, all right, young bull. And then he hit me in my mouth like the next play.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like the only one in that Palomalu. I told Troy, I said, I respect your game a lot. And he was very kind, but he doesn't say much, very soft-spoken. He was like, I appreciate that. Hey. And then he's all over the field the next game.
Phil Rivers, one of the best trash talkers
and doesn't
in the
curse.
biz. Doesn't curse.
Like polite, like not polite, but what's it called? Clean.
Yep.
Clean trash talk.
Maybe Joe was watching some Phil Rivers tape, and maybe caught some wind, maybe doing it his own way.
Could be.
Maybe. Braylon, was there ever a player that like just talked all the time and you were like, why is this guy just always talking?
Chris McAllister talked a lot. Oh, man. I first of all, I've known him my whole life. Bart Scott.
Oh, really?
Bart Scott never shut up.
Can't wait.
He never shut up. So Bart's from Detroit. He went to Southeastern High School, which is on the east side. It's off of Jefferson and Mac, I do believe. Not Mac, they go the same way, but Jefferson and it'll come to me. But he always has been a talker. And the first time we played the Ravens, I'm listening to his voice the whole game. Meanwhile, I'm looking like, you got Ray Lewis on your team, Hall of Famer. You have Ed Reed on your team, a Hall of Famer. You have Samari Rowe. You have Terrell Suggs, Hall of Famer. You have Chris McAllister, Pro Bowler. Like, you got all these studs, all these stars. The only voice I hear is this guy. I said, Bart, shut up. Like, shut the hell up. He never shuts up. And then I had the pleasure of playing on the same team with him, so I didn't have to listen to his chatter from an offensive, defensive perspective. He was a teammate of mine.
Yeah, I don't know how I would be if I'm in the Super Bowl and, I've been studying this guy on film for 2 weeks and he comes up and introduces himself to me like he's just some sort of stranger that's coming off the bench. It's like, no, man, he's got to be playing mind games with me. And then I start overthinking and he wins.
Nah, still hit him in his mouth. You see, Aaron Donald showed you what you do. You still hit him in his mouth. Aaron Donald had 2 sacks, should have been 3 sacks. He had 5 or 6 quarterback hurries and pressures. He dealt with it the right way, obviously.
By the way, Rod Beard just texted me from Cleveland. He says, guess who I just ran into, Maz? Sean Kemp. He's like, Sean, we were just talking about you.
That's crazy. Oh, that's right. He went to Cleveland, his second team.
Isn't that something?
Sean Kemp was
I remember those uniforms. Those uniforms a little slept on. Those black with the powder blue in the middle.
Yeah.
You like those?
The Mark Price uniforms?
I did. That's when Mike Fratello was the coach.
the czar of the telestrator. They call him
man, he stayed in Bracknell, was the city he lived in, which is right off of downtown. I looked at a house in Bracknell. I was like, I'm not paying that type of money in Cleveland. Never heard of
that.
it.
Cavaliers team is on the up. They're coming.
They're 2 games outside of first place.
Yeah, they're coming. But I mean, you could tell.
Yeah.
They're on the way.
Garland.
Hey, that would be nice, man. Wouldn't that? The Pistons could do it. If they could do it, we could do it.
Oh yeah,
it's not a question about it.
Sticking with the Super Bowl, the Bengals obviously were close. They went from worst to almost first.
Yeah. First in their division, though.
First in their division.
Yep.
Is there a team you guys think can do that next year?
We've been at this, man, and I mean I think you got to take out the Ravens and you got to take out the Seahawks because those are worst to first accidents. You know, you look at the Seahawks; they're not a worst team. You know, Russell Wilson goes down because if Russell Wilson doesn't go down in the Rams game, they beat the Rams. Because remember, Stafford was having a bad game.
Yeah, he was
before Russell got hurt.
That was the Monday night game.
Exactly.
No, the Thursday night game.
Exactly. And then the Ravens, I wouldn't count them. They were, they're legitimately the number 1 seed the last 2 years in a row, but. If you just look at that for how that's set up, Detroit maybe, but the problem is
I can't see that.
Now you got Aaron coming back. It looks like Aaron's coming back. It looks like they're trying to restructure. It looks like Minnesota's going to make a move. I don't think Minnesota goes after Deshaun Watson. I know that's not what you asked me, but maybe Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's tough out of those teams. The Broncos, for some reason, stick out to me.
Not in that division, man.
I know, not that division, but they're just a quarterback
Chiefs,
away. They're just a quarterback away, right?
The Chargers.
So if Aaron Rodgers decides maybe I'm going to Denver, if they land that quarterback position, I think they're a candidate to go from worst to first.
They do have some good offense.
Oh,
there.
Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, who we mentioned,
Two
maybe a
good
comeback
backs.
player.
Stays hurt.
Javonte Williams.
The funny thing about that comment, you said they're a quarterback away. Yeah, they're a quarterback away from being the 4th best team in that division. You still got.
You don't think they have any chance if like an Aaron Rodgers goes?
There's only one quarterback in the history of the NFL to throw for 30 touchdowns 2 years in a row. Who was that? His name's Justin Herbert. Oh, by the way, who's the guy that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago and should have won this year, but he lost to Joey Cool? Oh, that's Patrick Mahomes. And then you got Derek Carr, who now they're about to go out and get Devontae Adams. So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, that ain't the move. I'm just telling you, that ain't the move.
Okay.
I like Tennessee for him.
Yeah, and he bought the house down there too. So I'm thinking maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars because you get Etienne back. You have it easy. That's a weird division anyway.
They got to jump the Colts, right?
You got the Houston Texans. You got the Colts are iffy. The Colts will let themselves down. You got the Texans, and then you have Tennessee Titans. You never know what Ryan Tannehill is going to do. So I think the Jaguars would be the favorite for me. You draft Evan Neal. Now you can protect Trevor Lawrence's blind side.
I know it ain't the Giants.
Nah.
Trevor Lawrence, though, has to improve immensely from year 1 to year 2. Like his performance this year was subpar, to say the least.
He definitely was a subpar first overall draft pick.
Right.
That team was a you know what show.
Yeah, thanks, Urban.
It was tough down there this year for anybody. I don't care if you were a Pro Bowl or Hall of Fame quarterback. That would have been a tough situation. So I'm not going to give him a pass. But I'm gonna give him a slight pass. I'll give him. You know they have 2 fast passes now at Cedar Point. Now you can get 2 fast passes. You get one to get you close to the front, and then you get the one to get you all the way to the front through the back way. I'll give him the one where you can get close to the front.
Okay.
I'll give him that fast pass and say that he now has a season under his belt. We'll see what happens this year, and this would be my judgmental year of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, obviously my heart pick is the Lions, right?
Right.
We want them to go from worst to first, but I'd even take them just going worst to first in their division, not talking about the entire NFL. If the Lions can climb that first step, then I'm happy with it. And obviously we're many pieces away from that, but the foundation and how we ended last year, hopefully, it doesn't carry over season to season. I think we all know that. But I think there's just more hope going into next year.
But I think you would win that conversation if you say that, because when it says worst to first, it's talking about the division.
Okay.
So you would be, if you pick the Lions, then it works for that. It works for that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the division, it's kind of falling apart. Like Chicago, new head coach. Dan Campbell is the second longest tenured coach in the North now.
Oh, wow. Think about that. I'm just saying, keep your eyes on Minnesota. Minnesota was the only team last year to be winning every game they played in last year. All 17 games, Minnesota was leading at some point.
Okay.
I know people don't like Kirk Cousins or they're not sold on him. He can't win the big game. But you got to pay attention to who they just hired as a head coach. Kevin O'Connell is a guy that knows the quarterback position, played quarterback at San Diego State. He was on the Jets when I was out there. He was on offensive coaching staff for the Rams. Kevin O'Connell is going to work well with Kirk Cousins. And don't forget, you still got that monster in the backfield that is Dalvin Cook. Arguably the best all-around running back in the NFL.
He could be a comeback player of the year.
Dalvin Cook, there you go.
Perhaps,
and then Dalvin Cook, and then you also got Justin Jefferson out there on the wing. You still have Adam Thielen.
Yep.
Don't discount the Minnesota Vikings under Kevin O'Connell and what they're going to be able to do. They're going to be an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, YouTube GM agrees with you. Vikings are winning the division next year. And
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play.
Even if he does, man, to me, something deflated out of Aaron this year. Like you talk about it, and obviously it might have been Shailene, but I just think even more than that. I think Aaron's at that point now where it's like, look, I got four MVPs. I got my ring. Like, I'm getting paid. Like, I'll go through the season yet again, but I just don't see the hunger. Like, I'm not seeing the hunger, and I don't know if the hunger will return. I know you're like, well, how's there no hunger? You won MVP. I mean,
That's just so crazy that without hunger, he's still an MVP caliber quarterback. Like, that just shows the immense talent that dude has. Right. But yeah, he looks like he's just given up on life, man. Like, his hair's long, his beard, like
corduroy.
That's what I'm telling you. The girl killed him. She killed him.
It's a corduroy suit.
She killed him. No doubt. Take my word for it.
Isn't it crazy?
We can blame her. That's fine.
Isn't it crazy how he's dated all these celebrities? He's dated all these stars. He's dated a couple supermodels in there that you've seen him with at events. It's always the I hate using this word. It's always like the non-superstar. This is a safe way to say it. The non-celebrity. It's the non-superstar. It's the non-swimsuit model that can break you down to your core.
Yeah, I mean, Shailene Woodley, she's an actress. She's in some things, but you're more going off of visual effects.
There
right?
you go. There you go.
I think she's great looking.
All right. Yeah, she's right up Maz's alley. There we go.
Who isn't?
Everyone is.
That's what I said. Who isn't?
Well, who's right up our alley? You've played for him a couple times. Anthony Lynn, 49ers assistant head coach, former Lions OC, and former Chargers head coach, is going to join us next, right here on the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is the Bottom Line. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good,
I jumped the gun. I was excited.
This is
the Bottom Line.
There it is.
There we go.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
For the past decade, SMA has been leveraging relationships with athletes as well as other notables in the relationship as it relates to mental health and addiction awareness. Addiction awareness and mental health. Sean Jordan, former NFL alum, has been doing great things with SMA. Coming to Woodward Sports Network is the Sports Marketing Agency podcast, and the name of the show is This Is the F Word, and the F Word is fentanyl. I am proud to be a part of that, man. It's going to be an amazing thing. The things that he does in the community, I'm so proud that we've partnered with Detroit Wayne Health Integrated Network as well as Oakland County Health Integrated Network. Great things that he is doing. If you or someone you know needs help in the areas of mental health and addiction awareness, please go to the website, thesportsma.com, thesportsma.com, and somebody will get back to you. Somebody will help you. Somebody will point you in the right direction.
Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. This is the Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for the one, the only Ryan Ermani today. Braylon Edwards sitting up here with us. As always, Maz, we have Flannel Sam in the sound booth, and of course, Alex Mayer doing his thing in the TD booth. And got to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Thank you guys for dropping likes. Thank you guys for dropping comments. Thank you guys for bantering with each other, because sometimes it's fun to watch them have the conversation that we're having on the side, because you guys make great points too. And everybody that's listening from out of town, we get a lot of people saying, hey, thank you guys. I'm a transplant from Detroit. Not much sports coverage of Detroit where I'm at, and because of Woodward Sports, I can watch it anywhere. And that's the beautiful part about Woodward Sports. You can watch it anywhere at any time, too. You want to watch this show every day at 6 o'clock? You can. Just watch it on YouTube.
My mom told me to tell her she likes you.
Really?
She did.
I love your mom, man.
She said that. She told me to tell you she says hi.
Oh, that's awesome. I've met her twice. Once at at the charity event we're at in Kego Harbor.
Oh, in Kego Harbor, yeah.
And she was very lovely then, and she was in here the other day. So
she was dropping off toys. And of course, you're her favorite. You know your favorite. She says happy birthday to you as well, buddy.
Thanks,
but
Mama.
seriously, Braylon, that's one thing that I love about you being a part of this network is you share this with your entire family too. Your dad comes on, your mom's in here, your brother. Like it's just been great to have you a part of this, man.
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Family is near and dear to my heart. I was raised that way. It's all about family. That's how you live. That's how you survive. That's how you move forward. So whenever I'm a part of something that I believe in, I want to bring my family in because they're a part of everything I do. So I appreciate you on that, and I appreciate my family as always. Shout out to my sister. We found out she's having a girl, so now we're adding that new addition to the family, man.
How'd they reveal it?
So we did a cake. They had a cake made. They basically took the envelope that you got from the doctor at ultrasound, and they gave it straight to the baker. So they didn't know, and the baker made the inside of the cake whatever color was in there, and we cut it down. Or my sister, she cut it down, and she cut it, and she looked around it, and she found out it was pink. She was a little sad. She wanted a boy, but I told her, I said, hey, that girl can grow up to be Serena Williams, so you knock it off.
That's awesome, man. I've never been to a gender reveal.
Yeah, I hated them, to be honest. I thought they were dumb. I thought they were annoying. I thought they were trending. But when my sister said she wanted one, I was like, all right, cool. I can't tell I hate them. But in the way she did it, it was smooth. It was chill. It wasn't a lot of Michigans and a lot of dumb stuff. So I kind of liked the way she did it. It was more chill and relaxed.
Yeah, I love watching those gender reveals where they go wrong. Like the guy's holding the thing that pops up and it just sprays all over him.
Oh, the blue dust gets all over his face.
Yeah, or like they hit the piñata and they accidentally hit their wife with the bat.
I saw one dude. I guess he's a baseball player. And so he was, trying to hit the ball, and the ball was going to buzz. He struck out. He missed the ball 3 times. I was like, you sure this guy plays professional baseball?
Yeah, so gender reveal, if I ever have a kid, I'm not sure if I'll ever do one of those, but they seem fun, innocent, and congratulations to your sister. Congrats on being an uncle.
You're too good of a man not to have a kid. You're going to be somebody's father one day. Book it.
Ladies,
you got Woody.
I do. I'm a dog dad, and I got my cat tattoo.
There you go, cat dad.
I'm a cat dad.
Hashtag cat dad.
Yeah, cat too.
That's classic.
Yeah,
he's calling in. Coach Lynn is trying to get in.
Anthony Lynn is calling in, and if you guys have any questions that you want us to ask Anthony Lynn, drop them in the chat right now because
polite.
I honestly have a lot of questions because you go through a season like he did this year, and some changes that were made in the middle of the season, and I think we've all been through that type of adversity as men in our lives, and in my opinion, Anthony Lynn handled it perfectly.
He's a pro.
He's a pro, and that's exactly the word for it. And you want to pick somebody's brain about that because you see sometimes when things aren't going your way, people have a tendency to pout. People have a tendency to throw people under the bus. People have a tendency to point fingers, and that didn't happen in this locker room. And that speaks a lot to Anthony Lynn's character, and you played for him, so you could speak more to his character. Or we could just bring him on now and show everybody his character.
Let's do it.
Hey, Anthony Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Coach.
Hey, Lynn.
I can just assume we're always going to do Zoom videos from here on out.
Hey, you did it with Hard Knocks. I figured you'd be a pro.
Hey, hold on. Not at all. But before we even get this thing rocking and rolling, hey, Lynn, don't you think I forgot about something special for you? Hold on. We got to go ahead and talk about these 4 points of pressure that A-Lynn preaches so well. Man, I used to love it in the team. So basically, in the football, there's 4 points of pressure. There's right here. No, you're not getting that out. There's a point of the football right there that you cover with your hand. You got your forearm that the ball lays on. You got it tucked into your bicep right there. And then there's the rib cage. Am I right, A-Lynn? Did I hit all 4? Right. A-Lynn was a master at doing this. I tell you like this, I didn't fumble when A-Lynn was my coach. I never fumbled when he was my coach. Now, when he wasn't my coach, I'm not going to say anything, but 4 points of pressure from A-Lynn.
It's like the movie The Program. Did he make you carry the ball around the whole time?
That's right. A-Lynn's been a long time, man. It's good to have you on. I appreciate it.
Good to be here, man.
So, Anthony Lynn, I mean, obviously, as the Lions' perspective, and I was talking before you came in, when you have a year of adversity, kind of like you guys did this year in that locker room, give us a little insight into how you guys were able to maintain that locker room even through some change.
Good question.
Great leadership. I can tell you that Dan Campbell did a hell of a job of creating a culture. I know the record didn't show it, but the foundation is being laid for future success right here in Detroit. I mean, I'm here now. I came back to move my shit. So enjoying the snow and the whole nine. But
no, you're not.
It was outstanding leadership. Those young men showed up every single day to work and to get better. And I feel like they got better as the year went on. We had a long ways to go, but I did feel like we made some improvements.
A-Lynn, talking to Coach A-Lynn right now. Coach, the end of the year, you saw the difference. You saw the switch flip. And actually, even during the year, I mean, you look at the Ravens game, you guys are right there. You look at the Minnesota game, you guys are right there. A lot of games, you guys were right there.
49ers game, week 1.
Oh, the 49ers games, I apologize. You guys definitely made that comeback at the end of that game. You're absolutely correct. But towards the end of the season, you just really saw the shift. You saw the experience. And what I attributed it to, tell me if I'm right or wrong, I said that there were a lot of young guys on that team. They didn't necessarily have that in-game experience, so it would take them a couple of weeks to, kind of like stub their toe as opposed to having leadership. Now, by the time you get to the end, they start to figure it out, and they start to listen to the coaches, and that's why you see 3-3 at the end of the season.
No doubt about it, but you also saw Taylor Decker come back at left tackle. He missed the first 9 games. Then you saw Josh Reynolds. That was a big-time acquisition. We got him at about week 9, week 10. Those guys made a heck of a difference, but guys like Saints, those guys were coming along the whole time, and just getting better, like you said, Braylon. And once they got a little more seasoned, it was clicking a little bit in the second half of the season, I felt like.
I got one question. I'm gonna jump out of order. I know Maz can't wait to get you to the Detroit Lions questions. I just got one. Can the Lions win with Jared Goff? Or I don't know that's a tough question, but can the Lions win with Jared Goff, especially like you said, with Ragnow coming back, with Decker, and with Penei Sewell? Can Jared Goff be the guy the Lions need to get them over that hump?
Well, I think you look at Jared Goff's track record, when he was in Los Angeles. He was a quarterback of that team, and they went to the Super Bowl. So they absolutely can win with Jared Goff.
Hey, Coach, I was at your Super Bowls back in the day with the Broncos. I happened to be covering those games. That had to be some great times for you. John Elway's final game, you're there for that as well. Tell me about some of your memories.
Those were Super Bowl 32 and 33. We went back-to-back. Those were some great teams. And the thing that when I'm looking back on, the thing that I enjoyed the most about those teams were you didn't have a lot of high draft picks or superstars on those teams. About 22 starters, 17 was drafted after the 6th round or a priority free agent coming out of the cup. It was a bunch of hard-working men that believed in one another and didn't give a damn who got the credit. We were very selfless, and we played that way.
That's awesome.
I had to write that stat down. Future reference, 17 out of 22.
Hey, Terrell, you got to play with Terrell Davis. I mean,
he's one of them.
A Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and he plays blind. He played blind. That's what's amazing about Terrell Davis.
Those concussions.
Here's a story about Terrell Davis in that first Super Bowl in Green Bay. He got the migraine. That's what he's known for, that migraine Super Bowl. So he comes off the field, and I'm the second goal line back. I'm supposed to go in, and I'm thinking I'm about to go score my first touchdown in the Super Bowl. and Terrell goes, I can't see. And Coach Shanahan goes, well, if you're not in the game, Terrell, no one's going to believe that we're handing the ball off. I'm still on like, what? Wait a second, I'm supposed to win the game now. So Terrell goes back in the game, couldn't see a damn thing, ran a great fake, and we scored a touchdown. So Coach Shanahan was right.
Oh, that's an amazing story, man.
Hey, speaking of Shanahan, you're getting to go and hang out with this kid now, if you want to call him that. One of the best coaches in the game, Kyle Shanahan. You're going to be his right-hand man in San Francisco. Congratulations on that, Coach.
Well, thanks. It's going back and working with family. I grew up with this group, and we've never lost touch. We're always in touch, and I get a chance to work with them again. So it's going to be I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you, as I'm known as like the homer here at Woodward Sports. I'm a diehard. I'm a faithful homer. And one of the things I hear a lot about the Detroit Lions and the organization is that it's an undesirable place for free agents to go, and it's hard for us to get good coaches to come here and whatnot. You were a former head coach, and you were able to come here as an offensive coordinator. What enticed you about Detroit, and what is the general consensus amongst people in your circle about coming here?
Well, I didn't know many people in the organization, but I did know about Brad Holmes and Ray Agnew, and I like what they did with the LA Rams. They were always trying to win it every single year, personnel-wise, and I respected that. And coming here, I've worked with, I've coached Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. I've been on the same teams with those guys. So, and kind of along the way, encouraged them to do what they're doing now. So it was easy for me to come here and work with those two young men and try to help them build something special here, which I believe they're going to get done. I know people keep saying it's the same old, but, when I got here, I'm so impressed with this ownership. Sheila is doing a heck of a job of giving the Lions everything they need right now to be successful. And I do believe Dan and AG, they're laying the foundation right now for future success here. And I fully expect that.
Hey, Lynn, let me ask you a question. Like, I know you know this team better than anybody. Going into this offseason, going into free agency, going into the draft, what do you think are the main areas that Dan Campbell as well as Brad Holmes are going to target in free agency and then maybe in the draft? Because obviously we're all looking at that second pick, and we're trying to figure out every day. We're like, oh, is it Aiden? Is it Kayvon? Is it Trade? Is it move down? Is it Stingley? Is it Hamilton? Can you give us an insight without snitching on what you know they're going to do?
Well, that ain't my problem anymore. I'm concerned about what the 49ers are going to do now.
You got Debo now. What do you need?
That.
You got Debo Samuel.
What a hell of a player in Debo Samuel. Hell of a player in Debo. In that case, since it's no longer your concern, let's shift gears. Man, let's talk about those Jets teams, man. Those 09, 2010 Jets teams. I missed those. Why couldn't we get it done? Why couldn't we get over that hump, Lynn?
We played some really good teams in the championship game. We had Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. That was going to be a tough game, but we had just beat them 3 weeks prior to that. We just beat them pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. So I think either one of those games playing at home might have been a different story. But going there and they having a home field advantage like they did in the crowd and everything, with a young quarterback that we had, Sanchez did a good job for getting us to the championship games.
Yeah.
But it was going to be tough. But the ball had rolled differently a couple of times, and that would have been a different story. We go to Indy, and you remember what happened in Indy. We lost
Sean and Thomas,
and we lost Sean Green. So you got a 13-point lead in the third quarter, but you can't put Peyton away with one running back. You had to put T. Rich in at fullback to make him a halfback half the time. That didn't help. So just things like that.
Yeah, you're 100% correct, man. I just look at those two games, and you can't tell me I'm wrong, man. That Jets over New England in 2010, and then the Jets on the road against the Chargers in 2009, you can't tell me those aren't two of the biggest upsets in playoff history, man.
Those were upsets. No one expected us to win those games, but you guys did.
Good coaching.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about, go back to the Lions for a second. And last year, you guys went into L.A. against Matthew Stafford. It's kind of like our Super Bowl. And you guys threw the kitchen sink at them that day and could have won that game. But tell me about the feeling inside the executive offices about Matthew Stafford all year. What were they talking about it, the trade and all? Because that's all we could talk about here in Detroit. What kind of taste did that leave in Detroit?
When that happened and we didn't sign the receivers and we knew we was going into a little bit of a rebuild mode, players saw this opportunity, and we just we tried to play as many people as we could, try to expose everyone, and just to see who was going to step up and and take charge and be the next guy, and so that created a lot of competition every single week in practice. And Coach Campbell did a good job of developing practice where we could have those competitions, and that made the season to me more interesting because you never hit that spot where guys felt like they didn't want to come to work, they didn't want to show up. Guys were showing up because they were fighting for jobs year round, and they know what's to come over the next couple of years.
Coach Anthony Lynn, currently with the 49ers, and so I got a kind of a 49ers/Lions question for you. You got two quarterbacks for the 49ers right now. You got Jimmy Garoppolo and you got Trey Lance. Trey Lance was obviously somebody that was probably on the Lions board at one point. What was the discussion on Trey Lance before the NFL draft, and was that somebody that the Lions were even looking at? And to follow that up, how excited are you to have him in San Francisco?
Very excited to have Trey in San Francisco. He's, just watching him in college, he's big, he's strong, he's intelligent, And he extend plays, and in this league right now. Now I've said it: if you're not Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, the guy that can stand back there and pick you apart, know where you're going with the football before the ball's even snapped, you better have someone that can move around a little bit and get away from these 4-4 defensive ends. These guys are not 300 pounds and running 5 flats anymore. These guys are like Von Millers of the world, and you need a quarterback that can create a little bit in those situations. So. It's big time to have a guy like that on your team, but at the same time, Jimmy can do the same thing. Jimmy moves a lot better than what people give him credit for, and he throws the ball extremely well.
Man, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to follow up Stick's great question with a similar thing. Everybody is talking about moving Jimmy G. Is Jimmy G going to the Steelers? Is Jimmy G going to New Orleans? Is Jimmy G going here? Is Jimmy G going there? I'm of the presence of mind like you got 2 good quarterbacks. Why not just keep them both? Like Jimmy G has won games. Whether what people want to say about him, Jimmy G has won games. Why not keep them both? I think, you have Jimmy G. It creates a good challenge, a good back and forth, a good rivalry for Trey Lance to actually get better. I mean, am I far off?
Man, I know one thing, Braylon, and I say this all the time. You can't coach competition.
Yeah.
You can't coach it.
I am of the mind. I have gotten to this place where I think 49ers don't get rid of Jimmy G. You keep him.
Well, with that being said, do you think the Lions draft a quarterback this year to push Goff?
They've got Tim Boyle on staff. You didn't see Tim a lot because he was hurt for half the season. And then he came in with 1 week of preparation and played in the Pittsburgh game, and then he played a couple weeks later. But David Blau. Those guys, they deserve an opportunity as well.
Okay. Man, I could have this conversation all day with you, Coach Lynn. Thank you so much.
Coach, man, it's been good to talk to you. It's been a long time coming. I appreciate you.
Hey, Coach, what are you going to miss the most about Detroit besides the stinking snow?
Besides the stinking snow, I'm going to miss this town, this city. I think this is a great city. I haven't spent a lot of time here other than playing games in and out, but I live right here downtown. Right on top of the Western Book Cadillac.
Ooh.
I love downtown.
Can't have money.
Area. Hey, man, it ain't all about that money now. It's just they got apartments down here too, Braylon.
Hey, wait. How long that lease? Does that lease end at the end of the month?
Yeah, we can move on in.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks to party. Let's go.
We can sublet it.
I'll come down and check it out.
You have until March 14th.
Oh,
I'm off the clock in 15 minutes. I'm off the clock in 15 minutes. I'll see you in 30.
We're going to miss you, Coach. We're going to miss you.
Definitely.
Good luck in San Francisco.
Miss you guys for sure.
Devin, I'm getting out to San Fran
now.
I'm bringing my clubs.
Thank you, Coach.
I'm bringing my clubs.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you, Lynn.
Good night.
That is assistant head coach for the 49ers, Anthony Lynn, and obviously former offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Some great insight, too, behind their thought process going into the draft and just overall what he thinks of the culture of the team right now.
Yeah, no, that feels good. And you can tell it comes from a genuine place. A lot of times, guys will say things because they sound good, because they, make them feel good, and they're not controversial answers. But you can tell that A-Lynn speaking from the heart. A-Lynn has always been a straight shooter. Whenever I was messing up, or whenever I didn't do something right, or whether I could have done more, I didn't leave as much out there, A-Lynn would pull me to the side and tell me. If I say something to somebody, A-Lynn would pull me to the side and tell me. I don't want you guys to think I'm some bad player. You always have to pull to the side. But A-Lynn is a straight shooter. He always has been a straight shooter, and you can bet your bottom line, or you can bet the bottom line, or your bottom dollar. What he said is the truth.
You can't get a classier guy either. I mean, talk about the high road that he took and complimenting Dan Campbell and that staff. And he told us, we got something we're building here. I believe him.
He's going to be one of those guys you talk about, Brad. He's going to be one of those guys like Brad Holmes. Remember we talked about Brad Holmes. Remember they interviewed him at the Senior Bowl. And what he said, man, hey, man, my hat's off to those guys. I hope they win the Super Bowl. They're doing their thing. He was very complimentary of his team. He had been there, but he's a very classy guy. That's going to be A-Lynn when the Lions have their success this year or next year. He's going to be one of those guys that I'm so happy for him. I knew that this is where they would get to. So shout out to A-Lynn, man. Appreciate you, guy.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony Lynn. If you guys want to hear that interview over again, make sure you download the podcast, or you can just scroll back on YouTube and watch it. That's the beautiful part about being here at Woodward Sports. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. We got, about 13 more minutes left in the show.
We've got to get to the story about Stephon Diggs.
You want to do that next?
Oh, yes.
All right, Stephon Diggs
you
story
don't want to miss this.
Next, right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. That is Braylon Edwards, and this is
The Bottom Line. Hell of a question by you at 3:38, man.
That was good.
Hell of a question.
You sure you're not a sports guy?
No, right? I said 3:38 Stick question.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
You want commercials? The other guys have those. You want great sports takes? Touchdown! What a play! Woodward Sports has those. Detroit's new sports outlet, the Woodward Sports Network.
Viewers.
Hey, Maz. I just said, hey, Maz.
Hey, Maz.
It's Maz.
He saw himself on the TV and started talking to himself.
Oh, mama.
Hey, me.
Hoochie mama. I am here for the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, Michigan, and their great hosts and the inventor of folding, Chris Hutt, his wife, Noni Hutt. Please go in and tell them that the gang at Woodward Sports sent you. A couple ways to play folding. You can do a $10 unlimited open play. Go when they open and leave when they close. Or you can have a 2-hour lane reservation. $120 for 10 people. A private lane reservation. It's awesome. Lots to drink and eat. They have full bars. They got over 100 beers. And, of course, that $2 mystery beer machine. If you're hungry, you can order in, bring some food in, and you can have a picnic. Bring your own food. They don't care. It's a huge place, and it's a fun place. Have your birthday party there. Have your team building event. Just make sure you tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Go get your fold on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
And speaking of Woodward Sports, we are going to be out live Monday. Big D Energy from 11 to 1 p.m. is going to be at the brand new Chili Peppers Tanning in Berkeley, right off Woodward. And this is one of my favorite broadcasts that we're going to do because it's literally 2 miles away. So stop by, see D-Mac, see Neil Rule, get yourself a $5
and it's my birthday.
Pepper Club. Yeah, and it's Braylon's birthday. I'll take you tanning for your birthday. How's that, Braylon?
I'll be there.
And you know what? It's that time of year. Listen, none of us have seen the sun. That's why I'm sitting here pale as hell. And sitting in the tanning booth, it gives you that vitamin D, and it makes you feel better. So this is where you need to go. Chili Peppers Tanning. We appreciate them, and we will see them on Monday. Welcome back to The Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for the great Ryan Ermani. Braylon Edwards is here. We're still celebrating Maz's birthday.
Everyone's invited.
Sugar high from the cake that Braylon brought in for him. And Sam is in here, and Alex. And Maz, you wanted to talk about Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs had himself a hell of a Valentine's Day. This guy entertained not one, but 2 dates. Why don't you read that little text there, that little tweet?
Report. Stephon Diggs allegedly had 2 women at the same damn time in a hotel in 2 different rooms on Valentine's Day. Now, that is nice. That's some playa stuff. But why not have 2 women in the same room?
He might have had that, too. We don't know.
He probably had that, too. Let me ask you this question. Well, whose business is this?
Who leaked this?
Exactly. Who cares? Like, probably one of them.
Probably Stephon Diggs.
Could be.
I mean, that's something, man.
It reminds me of that episode. I know you, of all people, would appreciate that. It's like the Flintstones. It's like when Flair kept going back and forth to the date with Wilma, to the bowling alley, to the date with Wilma, to the bowling alley.
That's a great call, Braylon.
See?
That's
That's for you on your birthday, man.
That was sweet,
man. Birthday
man.
shout out for you.
That's something. Have you ever pulled anything like that
I have.
Yeah?
I have.
I mean,
what do you got?
Back in my hoeing days, I used to host a ton of nightclubs here in Detroit, like 5 nights a week, everywhere from Clutch Cargos to Altered State.
It's a church again.
Yeah, it is a church again. Amir sold it back to them, but there's a club named Venue in Dearborn that used to be popping back on Thursday nights. And one time I invited like 3 girls that I was talking to up there at the same time, and luckily I had my interns keep them in separate directions in the club, and I was able to go, hey, I'll be right back. I gotta go, talk to some people.
Check you out.
And I go talk to some people.
How you doing?
It's my guy over here.
I floated around that room all night long. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you asked me.
I'm
a virgin.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a virgin, so I don't know what you're talking
about. All right, tell me something that might have happened that wasn't you.
How about
something that might have happened?
How about on a recruiting trip? Because I hear all types of stuff about recruiting trips.
Recruiting trips.
A buddy of mine went to Michigan. I'm not going to name his name, but he set the sack record as a freshman, and he was telling me some stories. He was telling me some stories.
Things.
Come on, Bray, spill it.
It can get a little wild.
See, what happened was
that's why I'm believing it can get a little wild.
I'm not saying your story. You could tell me another story.
Something
that might have happened to someone else.
I've had some nights. I've had some nights. I've had some fun. I mean, Vegas. I lived in Miami for 12 years. I mean, that is all that ringing bell. Let's say I've had some fun. I've enjoyed myself. Now I'm trying to settle down with a nice, wholesome woman.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
But I'm still open to fun.
There you go.
It's a wholesome woman that loves to have fun.
There you go.
I just thought that was a funny story. I could just picture it, like you said, the Fred Flintstone running back from his anniversary dinner back to the bowling alley.
But do you think he was like in his boxers running up and down the hallway, or do you think he got dressed, walked down, undressed, dressed back up, walked back down?
Probably like one of those outfits we had like some cool joggers on, like cool like designer T-shirts, so you can, it's an easy put on, but it still is an outfit.
Take it back to like the late '90s with the snap away pants. You're just like. Once you walk in the room,
those girls knew what time it was. Like at the end of the day, you know what time it is. The guy keeps going in and out and in and out and in and out. You think he's going to shoot dice?
What was he doing?
He's going to smoke weed.
He was going in and out and in and out and in and out.
Yeah, in more ways than one. In more ways
hey guys,
than one.
By the way, last night Michigan playing some college hoops. All right, did you get
Another
a chance?
win, by the way.
Did you get a chance to see Juwan Howard's gaff?
Yes.
Last night. Check this out, folks. Let's play it. Yes, they throw the ball. It goes across the court, and instead of letting it go out of bounds, Juwan Howard picks it up on the court itself.
Did you say not your coach?
Sometimes former players, they get caught up and they forget that they're not playing anymore. And he was on the court. The ball was rolling at him. And he grabbed it.
It's okay. You know what it is. He's a polite guy. This is what happened when you go to Michigan. Your manners. You're a nice guy. It's all good. You still get the end. You still get the win in the end. That's what happens when you good karma.
Polite.
Come to those people.
Hey, Izzo would have choked a player if that happened.
Hey, play that with the sound, Alex, so we can get the whole gist of it. Thank you. I thought you were going to do that. You don't know me by now. It's all right.
He's going to win that battle every single time.
Take that.
I love his face.
I love the fact that they've been in like 13 wins forever. Well, they won, so now they're 14. 14-10. I think 5 more wins and they'll get into the tournament.
Oh, they're tournament bound.
Yeah, 5 more. They beat Purdue. Purdue was number 3 when they beat them. 5 more wins.
They're going to make
it for sure. But see, you know what Michigan does, and this is interesting. Michigan always, if they have a bad season, always pay attention to Michigan in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Michigan win the Big Ten tournament twice in the last 10 years where they were like bad during the season and they won the tournament. So
what was that year the plane went off the runway?
We had Derek
that
Walls
wasn't
on.
a great team.
Yeah,
no, they ended up
was
going on a run.
And then they went to the Sweet 16 and was a 3-point away from going to the Elite 8. So.
You know the NCAA committee wants Michigan in there. They're a draw. People want to watch them.
Period.
Even if they're not up to par this year, they're going to get in. Michigan State, of course, will get in.
All they got to do is catch fire at the right time, man.
That's all it takes. The Richmond Spiders could win it all for all we know.
Oh, my God.
Because that's the best tournament in sports. Hands down. March Madness.
Why don't you tell us what happened 19 years ago besides you being born?
Yeah.
Hey, it's All-Star Weekend. So why not show a Kobe highlight, right? Because Kobe dunked on Yao
Rest in
Ming.
peace, Mamba.
Play this sucker. A facial!
He is determined. Once he turns the corner, you see Posey asking for help. There's no help to be found. Yao just can't get over there in time as Kobe elevates and finishes it. But
Look
Yao
at this
wants to
guy.
show you
Bang
something
out.
here.
Come
That
get
he
it, Yao.
will make some noise.
Y'all was like,
7'6".
Y'all was like, I'm cool on that. That's one thing about Kobe. He has a lot of bodies on his resume. He caught a lot of bodies when he played. Back to what you were talking about the tournament.
Yeah.
I can answer that even better now. We talk about football versus basketball. Basketball, like 5 is different than 11. See, basketball is 5, and it's the same 5 the whole game, and then obviously you have a couple, sub in, so it's like 8 people the whole game. Football is just too much of a discrepancy from the offensive line, the receivers, the quarterback at Ohio State to the offensive line, the quarterbacks and receivers at Bowling Green. See, basketball is very different. Like in basketball 5-on-5, there's a lot of reasons why players could have went to Richmond or had to go to Marquette or had to go to DePaul or had to go somewhere. So that is different. 5-on-5, that's why that tournament works. But you're talking about playing Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia or Michigan versus, Carolina, Coastal Carolina or something like that. It's just different in football as it is in basketball.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I still like it, though.
You just want more football.
As you should.
I want more.
As you should.
I just want more.
That's it.
I'm a glutton. It's my birthday,
It's
damn
your
it.
birthday.
My birthday. I want more
I cry
football.
if I want to. I cry if I want to.
Well, you got the USFL coming, man.
Okay, bring
Hopefully
it on.
that suffices. And the first pick.
Hey, man, thanks for coming on with us today, Stick.
Yeah, I always appreciate the invite to fill in for
Hell
Ryan.
of a time, man.
Yeah, it's a good time with you
Well,
guys,
we
man.
got 5 days next week, so
Wait, he's out all next week too?
Yeah.
You see how you said.
Well, I know what I'll be doing 2 to 4 next week.
Ryan's on vacay.
Enjoy your
We'll have some
vacation,
fun.
Ryan.
buddy.
I think we'll pull from the back too. I think next week will be a good time to get some guys out here like Easy, Leash, bring Jeff in. You know, Adam
Absolutely.
Beydoun say he wants to come in again.
Yeah.
I think next week we'll just have a hodgepodge and can have fun with it.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of great talent at this network. A lot of great young talent too that we just need to get more reps, and they'll become monsters. And that's the exciting part is watching those young guys grow.
Dad said he's in all day Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday with Stan.
Dad said he's doing the full show on Tuesday.
Thank you, Stan.
So book that one.
Done.
Well, thank you guys for joining the Bottom Line today. We appreciate you this day and every day, and everybody who likes us, chats, all that good stuff, follows us on social media. It means the world to us, and thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you. So for Flannel Sam, for Birthday Boy Maz, for Alex, Braylon, what you got?
I just want to say this. We appreciate you, and we are building for you. We had Adam Schefter this week.
Woo!
We had Coach A. Lynn this week.
Yes.
We had Damian Woody.
Yes.
And we got another big guy coming on. Was it the 28th of February? We are bringing you what no one else in the city can. You better stay tuned, and you better jump on now, because it's going to be too late too soon.
Yep. Tell your friends to tell a friend. And we will see you guys on Monday, Braylon's birthday. So
Enjoy
get ready
the
to
birthday
celebrate
weekend.
again Monday right here on The Bottom Line.
We're out of here.
Suter scores! 1 for 1 in his career, and it's given the Red Wings the lead 2-1.
Oh, boy. Blocker side. Looked like over the pad, yeah.
What a shot.
Just inside the post, he gave him far too much.
So Hedl for the Rangers must score here or the Red Wings win. Hedl to tie. And he doesn't do it. Rice 4-0 in his career at Madison Square Garden and continues his mastery over the New York Rangers.